here from the Phantoms of Yore. Are you ready for the haunted challenge at Murney Tower in the dark? 90 minutes in this beautiful fortification. You investigate, we review, and we'll let you know who comes out on top.
Oh, that's strange. The door just opened on its own. I thought that maybe Elliot or Eric were here, but they are not. Is that you that opened the door?
All right, hello everybody.
What's up?
Hello.
All right, so we are here to judge the 16 teams that took on the Murney Tower in the Dark Challenge in Kingston, Ontario, back in 2019.
What's up?
We wanted to do this earlier, but unfortunately the pandemic happened, and here we are on the Murney Tower in the Dark Challenge in Kingston, Ontario. Is anybody else getting that feedback, or is it just
I hear it.
we wanted to?
Does somebody have their Facebook running?
No.
No, they would be.
That was me. That was
I
me.
knew it was you. I knew it was you. I wasn't going to say nothing.
I'm sorry. I just
knew
muted
it.
it. I just now muted it. I'm so sorry. I was like, what the heck's going on here now? I was like, oh, because I had the double screen
Busted.
up. My bad. My
Good.
bad.
Good. You admitted to it.
That's right.
That's very honorable of you.
That's the first step.
It is.
First step. All right, so we have a lot to go through tonight, a lot of teams, a lot of time. I'm trying to keep this within 2 hours. If there's anybody watching, if you're part of the In the Dark Challenge, please comment and let us know. I'm kind of curious how many people stuck with us over this 2-year period. So the winner of this will, of course, be the returning champs for the challenge this year in the fall. So hopefully you're watching and you'll message us so we can set that up. So for the runners up, we are going to give you the 2 teams that are runners up. We will give you from the Haunted Walks. So you can message us and you can get access to the Haunting at Home from the Haunted Walks.
Nice.
So let's make some introductions. Corey and Elliot here from the Phantoms of Yore. We have KD and Katie, Supernatural Inc. Katie's a historian, and KD is known as, so is it the paranormal mad scientist?
I am not an actual scientist. That's a nickname given to me. I mean, I am. I'm not a degreed scientist. Define science. Define scientist, I guess. All right. I'm a science enthusiast. And
I do have a few of your things to show later. So we got some of your spirit boxes here. I'll show some clips later on of the stuff that you've built.
Oh, I've got a new one. I got a new one right here. That's right.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that one before.
That's a cool little box. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mine. No. I'm stingy. I'm sorry.
All right, so we have Tabitha with us, who is the director of the Murney Tower Museum. So she's here to represent the museum and her thoughts. Now, she has to work here every day, or I guess not during the pandemic, but I guess in the future you'll be working there quite often. And I guess she's looking forward to seeing some of the evidence that some of the teams have collected. And we have the creative director, Jim Dean, here from the Haunted Walks to put in his 2 cents on the captures from that event.
Jim Dean.
Really looking forward to it.
And
not to be confused with James Dean. Jim is much cooler.
Yeah. It was very troubling growing up in school because whenever I got into trouble, the teachers would always say, James Dean.
Rebel without a cause.
That's it.
So for those watching, if you're not familiar with the Murney Tower, I guess, Tabitha, can you give us, a 3-minute spiel on the history?
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah. Basically, for those that aren't from Kingston, it's actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's part of a fortification network with the Rideau Canal. So we have Fort Henry and 4 small little martellos. These are little towers that the British built throughout the world. They proved very effective, though by 1860 it kind of become obsolete. Our tower was built in 1846. It was the first of the 4 built in Kingston. And while it never saw a battle, it did have regiments living there. It had a British regiment there for a number of years, and it had the Canadian militia there for a number of years. And it's just sort of like a symbol of Kingston. The martello is on our city's flag. I'm just excited tonight to kind of see what these videos have in store for us. Does that help, Elliot? Kind of give some context?
Yeah, no, for sure. That's awesome.
Great
I'm
context.
Yes, I'm writing it all down because I find that 1846, you said, huh?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
Kingston? That's amazing.
Nice.
I should mention it was abandoned by 1885, and it stayed abandoned until 1925 when it
Too
was
cold.
over. Pardon?
I said it was probably too cold. Like it was too far out, too cold, you know, like it was too far away from everything and way too cold. You would probably
our martellos actually have
die.
roofs. Ours have roofs, Katie, because of the snow. Other martellos in the world wouldn't have a roof on them, but we had little red roofs on ours because of the weather.
And those would be removed to make them any warmer, though.
No.
Right.
No,
Yeah. I mean, in Canada winter, I mean, yeah. I can
Okay,
imagine that.
KD, so our anniversary, our 21st or 21-year wedding anniversary, that's where we're going.
Well, that's where we
You're
would
welcome
like to go.
That's this
I'm
year,
not-
buddy.
I am not making any promises.
I should say it's the oldest museum in Kingston. It's about 96 years old this year. And so it started as a museum in 1925. And it's a partnership between the Kingston Historical Society and Parks Canada.
You said you guys opened it as a museum in 1995?
Oh, sorry, no, 1925. So 96
Oh.
years ago. 1925.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh my
so
gosh.
Yeah, it's the old. There's about 30.
Nobody
museums
went
in the
back until they
area,
were
and
ready
ours
to
is the
turn it into a
oldest.
museum.
That's awesome.
Nobody. So you said it was abandoned from 1885 to
Yes.
1925. So nobody even went back at all until they were ready to turn it into a museum.
Well, I'm sure people were going back and looting it and different things.
Right.
And the Princess
Yeah.
of Wales' own regiment was kind of keeping an eye on it. They're a regiment that's still in Kingston. They were keeping an eye on it. And unfortunately, for those that don't know, the reason that the community rallied around fixing the tower and putting a museum there was because it was in such a bad state that the roof blew off and actually killed a child. So the whole community was like, wow, we need to rally around this and fix it up and supervise it. And
the roof
so we ended up
blew
getting a
off
museum.
and landed on a kid.
Essentially, yeah.
Wow.
Unfortunately.
That's insane.
Across the road, wasn't it? Wasn't it in the park?
What year was
What
that
year
like-
was that was 1921 that the roof
Okay.
blew off. And there's mixed stories about that. Some people say that the roof went down Berry Street, which is the street across the road. Some people say it was in the park, like right at the tower. There's just mixed stories about what actually happened.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it would be
Crazy.
great to speak to family, the oral history kind of in the family of what
That's almost like the tower while it was just abandoned was trying to kill people.
I hope not. No, it's a
mean,
beloved place.
I
It
was-
just like it
beloved
just
place.
took his hat off and said "Zoop,"
I wasn't thinking that at all. I was
like a
thinking
Kung Lao
maybe
move.
I was thinking maybe it was a sign telling the townspeople, hey, if you don't fix me up, then
or maybe
I'm
there's
gonna make some bad things happen. That's what I was thinking. But
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know. That might be the same thing. I don't know.
Now, I don't know if this is a controversial question, Tabitha, but who were we actually defending against that we needed these towers in place?
Oh,
The
I would
Americans.
say right.
The
Yeah, that's what I would
Americans.
say. Yeah,
Yeah.
because we are a group of brutes down here. Towers
Hey.
would be helpful.
Oh,
Hey,
that's
I'm-
why we have two Americans with us right now. I apologize. Yeah,
No, I'm Hungarian.
It's okay. I take no offense.
I'm Hungarian.
No offense.
My family came here in the early 1900s. So
I have no idea. I actually bought a DNA test recently just to figure out like some things that my dad had told me, just to find out if any of it was true, which is probably not.
Mhm.
It's,
I think
you're
I'll
always
get-
curious to know like where your roots are, right?
Oh no,
And I
for
can't
sure.
go back any further than my great granddad, so I'm just gonna
Yeah.
do a
I
DNA test to find out.
Sorry, Kitty. I think, Elliot, you wanted to also it to be mentioned that during the War of 1812, there were soldiers on this site. And basically, I should mention that Murney's Point, for centuries, this was an Indigenous trading hub. So there was an enormous amount of traffic right in this area. And then for Kingston,
Right.
the community after, like this was a very popular like spot to bath and swim, and then when people got sick with the epidemics while they were traveling into Canada down the St. Lawrence River, there was a lot of people that unfortunately died at Kingston because that was the natural transition to go from the large boats to the little boats to go further into Canada. So, I mean, just a ton of activity from the community in this area. I think
there's a rumor about the Knights of the Golden Circle. They actually had their main headquarters there in Canada. And
well, I can't. My Canadian geography is terrible, so I'm going to like Google Maps time now.
Sorry,
yeah, because
this
is
what's going on where.
Yeah, the Knights of the Golden Circle worked out of Canada. Okay, that's where their main headquarters was, and one of the Jesse James was a Knights of the Golden Circle, and then also the guy who killed Lincoln. They believe he was also a Knights of the Golden Circle. Very interesting that, during, when, what was that? Late 1860s, early, like 1859. I don't know. But they've been around for a long time. And I know the Native Americans, a lot of Native Americans, especially the Shawnee Indians also were around 1812. So I couldn't imagine, what was going on there during 1812. Almost kind of like a melting pot.
Yeah. No, there was a sort of a barracks there out of the farmhouse and the barn during the War of 1812. So there were soldiers there. And this is the land of the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee here in what is now called Kingston. So those would have been the indigenous people. And it was apparently a very, very high traffic area. It was an indigenous.
It looks like there was a lot of trading. Like it says 13 distinct groups, First Nation peoples that lived in Ontario. So I imagine they all traveled. And I bet you, I almost want to bet you, and Katie, this would be interesting to you, the road, right, the Jefferson Highway that runs from Louisiana all the way up to Ontario.
Yeah, the old 1812
that was
trail.
But before that became a road, it was a Native American trading route.
That's
right. They would go, they would trade, from north to south. So I'll bet you. A lot of that was, that's a lot of the traffic that was actually going up there.
It actually did go up to
Canada.
Canada.
Makes sense why there were so many, like you had Cree and Potawatomi and
One last thing, Elliot, I should mention that Bradstreet landed around there. So for those that don't know, the French were the first to kind of colonize that area. They were there first. And then the British came and with Bradstreet, it kind of landed around the area Murney Tower is, and then went to the fort about a mile away, Fort Frontenac, and they seized it. And then it was no longer French colonial territory anymore after that time. So it's just this spot has had so much activity. It's even where Bradstreet landed, as far as I know.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot's gone on in this spot.
A lot of history. Wow.
Very, very rich history.
All right, so let's jump into it then, because we got a lot to go through.
Get right into it.
So the first grouping, we have 3 teams, and now this is from the Friday. This is, let's just have it scroll on the bottom here, so I don't have to go look at the videos. So Haunted Toy Box,
darn it,
Militia Paranormal, and Nervous Belches. Now, we are looking at one piece of evidence to kind of make that team stand out. Just some videos are shorter than others. One might be 5 minutes, one might be 3 minutes, one might be 6 minutes. So we're looking for that one piece that makes that team stand out to be better than the others, essentially. So not looking at everything combined.
Wait, hold on. So I have to decide who's better?
Out of the 3. Who has that best piece of evidence?
Oh, best. That sounds better. Better. Okay.
The best piece of evidence out of the 3.
Let me clarify that though. It may not be that they have the best evidence, but some might have good evidence, but maybe others were asking better questions or
investigative tactics.
Yeah, so not necessarily what they captured, but how they were capturing it and how they were going about it.
Agree.
Was kind of the challenge that we threw out there, right?
Okay, I like that because everybody has their own way of research, and that's fine. And I like that analogy. That works perfect.
Okay. All right. So let's start off now with the first, which is Haunted Toy Box.
don't know, having a hard time breathing. Chest is heavy? Yeah. Oh. Was there something wrong with your lungs when you died? I mean, now that you said that, Kelly, but that could just be mine. Sorry. It's okay. Holy. You okay? Yep. It has a different feel in this room. Is that? It does. Did you have tuberculosis?
If you are in here, tell us your name.
All sound like Peter.
Is your name Peter?
Would you like the gentleman in our group to abscond to another room?
Suggest a way for it to tell us. Maybe like if it can't speak, it might be able to interact with the environment.
You have it back.
Are you happy that I returned the toy to you?
All right, that was Haunted Toy Box.
So I had to get out a bigger piece of paper.
There's some interesting things there.
Well, the I like how they got they got a name. That's cool. And then they had a confirmation of that name. Now the first EVP,
I wasn't convinced though that it said Peter and it didn't say like here. I would have to. I'd have to just listen to it a little bit closer, I guess. Maybe look at it on a spectral or something.
Well, I'm not finished. Hang on. But the first EVP, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude.
No, you're fine.
The first EVP, I don't really think that I would probably throw that out.
The one that said go away. Did it say go away?
Go away was the first one.
I could hear like the tone, like the inflection, like the da da da, right? It's like a really so faint though that I couldn't tell if it was if it was saying something or what it was saying. It was definitely like an inaudible, like a murmur. But I mean, initially when I heard it, I heard the murmur.
But the second EVP that they got that said like wonderful.
That
was the last one, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the last one.
That was interesting because
that was interesting.
Because it actually, because it actually, I couldn't make out if it was a male or female, but that definitely wasn't, to me, in my opinion, an EVP.
That one was interesting to me because of the way it I think it kind of it happened or whatever, like the EVP happened because like you see they're walking through like a doorway or whatever, and they're stepping up or stepping over like a something, right. I assume, and like a little threshold or something, and somebody like clips their boot on it, right? And you hear the clip, and then it's like the echoes after that clip is what that EVP is made up of, and that's not uncommon. It's like it's something that's using the air vibration, the sound vibration,
Happens all the time.
the resonance in the room to create a voice. And I thought that was interesting.
But did
that's what it sounded like to me.
did y'all notice that orb go to the little lantern, and the lantern light actually looked like it got brighter to me? It could just been.
I got a question about that orb. I noticed that the investigator was holding something in her hand that had a light source. And obviously, we had the lantern as a light source. So we do have two competing, but I couldn't tell what she was. Maybe part of an earphone.
Well, yeah, no, that was the speaker to the spirit box. So a lot of the times at events, who people aren't familiar with spirit boxes, they think they talk to it like it can hear them, and then they go to listen to it.
I've seen
or
people talk
to a pill bottle.
That's what I was about to say, bro. I was about to bring that up, dude. Anyway, yeah. But another thing. Okay, talking about the light anomaly, right? And I like what Jim said. And Katie, I like that you see all these light anomalies, right? But the only thing I see, I hate, and I know everybody does it. It's very common. I hate the green night vision, man. I can't stand it because if it wasn't, that's a filter, right? That's just a filter to make the brighter colors kind of contrast better. Like normally IR is like black and white, right? But when it is like when something with that's producing its own light source or whatever, if it's bright enough, it will actually turn a different color, right? Like I've seen like I would rather people record and just with a full light and a camera. Or just IR and IR lights, but just basic IR, no filter, because the green to me dilutes anything that might be a light anomaly, because it's hard to tell the difference between just it could be a piece of dust or it could be like something producing its own light. It could be its own light source. That's just my personal opinion, but for me it makes it hard for me to distinguish between a quote unquote orb. And something this
I would normally rule out orbs
anyways,
almost every time.
That's what I'm saying. It would have to produce some sort of like unique effect. Like I've only had one that I caught that I would actually even talk about, and I got a video of it. That's later, but it's like if it turned so bright that it became a different color, right? So you could
like purple.
That it broke through the kind of the IR filter or whatever, or it phases, and that can happen too, right? Like the IR filter can cut out, but if you got the green, it's like a solid night vision all the time and that's the handy cam, I know, and I have one too, and it is what it is, right? But I've come to like the black and white better.
There are a few examples of more of these light anomalies in the tower. With these cameras, we rarely ever pick up anything like that unless it is an insect or something like that.
It was an interesting light anomaly, though. I will say that. But
the way it came in through the door and then kind of took a right, a left really, but took a right towards the second person was the only thing I found interesting.
Right. But I mean, it was the kind of intelligence or whatever of the movement of it. It could have been something like a residual something.
It was kind of like the energy was coming out from like the device that they were using, and I could have sworn I thought it seen it brighten up the light just for like a second.
Well, it might have been interacting with it, you know what I mean?
Because immediately I'm like, about orbs, but that I would have to watch the full thing to see.
Well, see, orbs is not the important thing. It's light anomalies, right? And when they move intelligently or whatever, then you have to assume if you have enough evidence of them doing that. And I'm not talking about things that are obviously dust or reflections from your camera flash. I'm talking about like things that, like I said, produce their own light source, and that's why I did the whole laser thing with the laser audio transmitter, is because of that, right? Because I do feel like they can interact, and when they do, it may produce light anomalies as like a byproduct of their interactions, or that could be like just like part of the way that that whatever crazy quantum physics crap works. I have no idea. and you can maybe you can see it better in IR, right? Maybe it's sensitive to the IR spectrum or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I've never seen an orb using a thermal camera. Have any of you?
No.
Well, Well, I mean, that's a good question.
Good question.
It would have to be a super high. I think it'd have to be like a high resolution.
I've caught an apparition with the thermal camera. It was a real popular picture, circulated in all over the place for years.
Well, I think we got to give a lot of credit though to Haunted Toy Box, because of what we saw.
No, that was
doing
good.
A great job asking questions, which I really appreciated, and the use of abscond.
I was going to say the same thing. They got
right
points for using the word abscond.
Yeah, no. I like it, and I like
that.
last
They seemed like they were
EVP.
doing the right things. They were engaging in the right spirit. So big shout out to that.
Last EVP was I think, in my opinion, that was the best.
It was
thing.
the best one. The wonderful.
Right. That was the best part. That was the best piece of their evidence.
Well,
and that was just because
I thought it was when they got the name and the direct response back.
That was a good one too. The direct
But that
response.
orb, I'm still thinking about that orb lighting
So
up
you'll have
that
to send
planet.
that to Katie.
Yeah, you'll be able to go back and rewatch everything, but we have to get through.
The orb investigator.
But I wish they would have
Question.
used more devices to coincide with their one device that they were using. I'd like to use two or three devices at the same time.
Yeah, they had a bunch of stuff out there.
They had a bunch of
that's
stuff,
probably
but
just
maybe
what
not on the camera.
Yeah.
I mean, just from what I
Okay.
can see, like, you know, that last EVP was like super clear. But if you were inexperienced, you may have overlooked it. If you were inexperienced as somebody somebody listening out for voices and you know, just people talking, and there's all this stuff going on, and you might pick up something that most people would overlook and just say, oh, that was just a sound of, like I said, like the echo from that boot. But then look at it a little bit clearer, maybe slow it down just a hair, and then you can hear a clear.
And what was you going to say, Tabitha?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. I was going to ask, how do we know that if it was a real thing, how do we know it wasn't asking for a Peter? Because we have two Peters that volunteer at the museam.
Well,
One of them
it
is
could be.
involved on a daily basis.
Yeah, might be. There you go. See, and that's relevance, and that's good that you're here to tell us that, because that gives that validity. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it does. Now I wouldn't say that. Now I would lean more towards Peter, because I mean, all that what you want, but I like it.
I'd like to know what the other teams captured. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, let's jump. Well, we'll play the two back to back, and next time we'll play all three back to back, and then we'll have conversation after, because there's a lot to discuss here. I'm gonna play the two other teams back to back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh crap! I gotta take really good notes then. Hell yeah.
I don't want to go in there.
No, I didn't like going in there either.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know. I
didn't like him.
feel like I hit
Yeah.
a wall as soon as I went near that. Oh, you want to see too?
Yeah.
Well, you got our attention. Are you in that room there where you would shoot guns out the window? Yes for once, twice for no. you leave your post and come out here?
Did you kick that?
I did kick that.
All right.
Scared the hell out of me.
Scared me too, but
There's a step here.
it's nice to know that it's there, so we know what we're.
Up against?
That comes rolling down the hallway after me. I'm a little freaked out.
There's a warm spot, was. 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 There's another step.
All right.
Play with me.
Hello! Hello!
Play with me.
Come on! Hey! Hey, hey, hey! 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 Let's go down. Are you there? Okay, come here. We're gonna go down. Let's go. Let's go. Can you help me? Fuck. Who was that?
I don't know. I don't freaking know. They keep talking to me.
Okay, come on. Yeah, no. Fuck.
Finally stopped. Whoa. 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 Finally stopped. Whoa. I just had a huge orb right in front of the camera.
All right, we have our three now.
Well, I will go with York, the hold on, Phantoms of Yore and Militia Paranormal. You guys were investigating together or separate?
No, it was each team are on their own in the tower. We put them in there, and we just watched them through an NVR system.
Okay, so is it bleach? What is it? Bleachies? What is it?
Belches.
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 Nervous belches.
Nervous belches, yeah.
The nervous belches. I like it. It sounds like a punk rock band.
It does.
Sounds like an 80s punk band.
Well, what I found interesting with the Phantoms of Yore and the Militia Paranormal, I had a hard time distinguishing on who.
Oh no, the Phantoms of Yore is us, and we're running the event. Yeah, just that I accidentally left the logo in there. That's all.
Oh, it didn't look like the
And
first
I'm the
video that he
blonde.
did. No, the first video he showed, he just had that group.
Yeah, no, it was my
I'm just
mistake. I was
Okay.
cutting it.
Anyways, I like the fact. This is what I found interesting about the EVPs that they caught.
Militia.
And
Which
yes.
one? Who?
Militia
Is that
Paranormal.
team 1 or team 2? Well,
That's
that would be
Militia.
team
Team
2
two.
and team 3. Actually,
team
yes.
2.
Yeah, so with Militia Paranormal, so they got it was a female voice, and if you notice the emotional feeling that the lady had, is she her voice was completely different from the EVP that they got, completely different. But her
You're talking
emotion,
about Go in the Back? Is that the one you're talking about?
I like the second
oh
one.
no,
that they
yeah,
got.
go
The
in
one
the
that said
back.
I'm dead.
He.
And then I like the fact that they're using the rook. I like the rook, even though it didn't respond. But I love the rook. But anyways,
I do like that, but I think I don't. I mean, okay, I love that EVP. I think that's up there. That's one of the best ones. Oh, I just like video of people, and like okay. So if you can see everybody in the room, then then you're good. Like it's better. It's better than watching a wall, but it's better. But it's also like you can use that to confirm.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So and so
Well,
didn't do this, or
but-
this noise didn't happen there, or whatever. It's not just look at me, I'm on camera, but it's also I didn't make that noise. You can see that I didn't make it. But the I'm dead thing was great. That was awesome because it did sound like a little bitty kid. I'm sorry, honey. Go ahead.
Yeah.
but
That's all I had to say.
one last thing, what I found to be so interesting was how she felt, and it coincides with her EVPs. It all intertwines together to me because she had already felt a little uncomfortable, maybe a little sad. So with their evidence that they captured, like with the EVPs, it coincided with this woman's emotions and the way she felt in that area. So, and the I am dead. That's just messed up. I don't. Was he laughing?
I heard that.
I
think he was crying. It sounded like a young boy, maybe not like a little boy, like little, but like I don't know, 10, 11, 12 maybe.
Yeah,
and
but
it sounded like him saying I'm
sensitive.
dead,
It's
and then it
crazy.
sounded like they were like whimpering about it. To me,
Oh,
that's what it sounded
okay.
like to me,
Okay.
personally. And when I could see they're recording for EVP or doing a ghost spot, I'll look down because I just want to listen to it first without seeing what they. And a lot of people won't put up what they think it was first, and it doesn't matter. I don't care.
I like how
to hear it
you
first and then
kept
see.
playing it over and over and over. So,
But it
'cause
did
I'm
sound
trying
like
to
I'm
write
dead.
it down. So,
Oh, which one are you talking? Are you talking about? The
oh
I'm
yeah,
dead?
it did definitely say I'm dead. It did say that. It definitely said go in the back or whatever it said. That yeah.
So what did y'all think?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Time to vote. You got the votes.
Sorry, honey.
So, and I'm guessing KD and Katie, you guys want to vote for Militia.
Well, no, I didn't get to talk about it.
I didn't get to talk about the other
Guys,
Did anybody else get to talk about it?
I'm the Peter group at the beginning.
Wait, hold on. But there was the other group too, right?
Yeah, there's all three of them.
Yep.
Okay,
I've
so
considered all three.
Okay,
Can
so
I just go down through their evidence real quick because I wrote it all down.
okay,
Thank
and then
you.
I'll tell
Okay,
you
so
what
the
I
first-
thought about bleaches or
Great.
whatever.
No, wait. This is team 3. I'm doing team 3. I don't know who team 3 is. I just put team 3.
Nervous Belches.
Nervous
Right.
Belches.
That one. The
Belches.
punk band. Okay,
The
so
punk
in the cell. Okay, that first the EVP. It sounded like it said in the cell where I'm inside or in the cell where I'm hung. That was pretty good to me. But I mean, it was like hard to hear at first, but when you close your eyes and you really listen to it, and they cleaned it up a little bit, you could really make it out a lot better, right? So I like that one. And then there was hello, it sounded like hello, and then I want to live, and that's the one and that I had laughed, and that was funny, and it was that was a great response, but it was funny because she kept saying hey.
Yeah.
Well, she was scared. She that scared her.
That lady was terrified.
It was funny to hear it.
I've had that happen to me before, and
that was a great response.
That is
and that was
creepy.
also ITC. So I love ITC. So there we go. I like that.
I want you to live,
and then the light anomaly
with me. I thought that was a bug, moth.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it was. It was obviously
it looked like a feather, but
it could have been any. It was obviously some sort of anomaly, but I couldn't. It was green. I don't know.
Send it to me. Send it to me so I can put it through my software to look at it closer.
Well, I mean, it's green though, man.
But it was going up, so I don't know if something was sucking it up. Maybe door open. Who knows?
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't be able to know that. But it definitely wasn't.
I'm not going to consider that orb because it looked too much like.
I'm going to say team 3. I'm going with team 3.
It's a little hard just because of the responses she got. It says, "I want you to live with me."
Can I jump in with maybe a couple quick points?
Yes, Mr. Jim.
I certainly agree with comments about Militia Paranormal. Also, really appreciated their team shot at the end. I thought they had a lot of swag going on there, which I appreciated.
That looked good.
That one clip we're talking about, the "I Want to Live" one, that one made my stomach drop.
Yeah,
that had something to it that I felt was very, very genuine. And I'm not sure if that is, we were talking about the fear response of the investigator in that moment, but that one I found genuinely frightening.
Yeah, it sounded like something there was desperate.
Well, and in the cell, when they were in the cell, that's messed up. That other EVP, that's creepy too, because it was talking over her. Now that was straight up EVP right there.
Has anybody been hung in that cell, or is anybody?
No. I don't think there's been any kind of thing like this at all.
Starved to death or something.
Yeah, nothing like that.
Hey, maybe he said in the cell where I'm inside. Then I don't know.
Well, it said something about stabbing, and that's pushing me right away. Because nothing like that's happened. So
it did.
Yeah,
that's for the light anomaly. What really caught my eye there was the shape of it.
Right.
And it seemed very defined.
Right.
Which makes me think looking at it there for a few seconds as we did, I'd be curious if that is a reflection off another reflective surface that someone in the group is holding or moving. Because it seemed almost a small rectangle, a small square.
Oh, you're right.
If Katie can look at that
there are glass cases and stuff around there. So
there was like a blast of like lens flare that came through too, and just kind of waved right up from the other camera, from the IR camera or IR light on that camera too.
I have taken a picture of distorted looking anomalies.
I'm not saying it couldn't be paranormal.
But that to me, like that definitely just. I mean,
if it was okay, let's say this.
Jim on that one.
Right. I'm going to go with we don't have enough on that to really say, and it's not clear enough as to what it is. Unfortunately it's only IR light. If it were full light, then you would be able to see what color this thing was. If it had color, if it was white, if it stood out, if it was the same color as the lens flare, or if they're
the investigators weren't. I was trying to see what their demeanor was as well as that orb kind of popped up. Mm-hmm. So if any of them, sometimes people don't feel anything, but I was just trying to watch for that as well.
There's not a lot of context either. It's hard to take these things completely out of context. But I'm just going to say that's my opinion based on what we have.
Now, even the narration suggested that some of this stuff may have been spoken by people in the room that we can't see. So again, I'm leaning towards that first video because I could see everybody, and it actually sounded like it was coming out of the thing. So,
but there was only 2 investigators, correct or no? The second
there was,
video.
But the voice happened to sound like the man. I'm pretty sure it sounded like his voice. Not to put any aspersions on anyone.
Wait, hold on. With Militia Paranormal.
Aspersions.
Wait, with Militia Paranormal? Is that who you're talking about?
No, that was team 2.
That was the last group. Wasn't it the last group that had the stuff about the stabbing? And
it could be, and that's why we always say possible EVP, because we can't prove that it's an EVP. It's just impossible.
Well,
so I mean, it's just it's whatever you feel like. Does it match the voice?
I'm new to this. I'm new.
Or not?
Okay.
But I mean, I think we should take the vote now because we do have 13 other teams to get through.
Okay. All right.
So
I gotta go do this other thing, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to scoot. and skedaddle.
All right, but vote first. Vote first.
I already
Katie.
voted.
Oh, he
The
voted.
third. Team
13.
3.
Well, Katie has to agree with you.
Who, me?
Yeah, you
I
don't agree
don't,
with
why do
Katie.
I have to agree with him? I don't. Maybe
We
I don't.
seldomly agree.
Because you guys are a combined vote.
That's why we.
Oh,
That's
snap.
why.
That's right. I forgot.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she's
Well,
fine. She's fine. We take 3.
but
I'm just
I
kidding, Katie. I'll
wanna-
let you do it. I'll let you do it. I gotta go, y'all. I'll talk to you later, Elliot.
Okay,
Sorry to stay
well,
longer.
since he's
I'm-
already
I need
said
to
who
keep
he
better
agrees
track of my
with,
records. But
uh,
good night.
with Bill,
Love you, honey.
Love you. Thank you. So since he said Belches, then I'll go with Belches. But
Your Belches? All right.
yeah, but I just found that the Phantoms,
Militia.
the militia
Uh-huh.
paranormal, that was interesting. I don't know, but the haunted toy box though, I mean, they got direct response, and there's two Peters that work there. I mean, yeah, it that night is creepy for them, for that entity to say, I want you to live with me. But with the cell, when they're when it says in the cell or whatever, the lady was talking, and it did sound like the guy that she was with. It did kind of sound like his voice, but why would he talk about something completely different than what she was talking about?
Yeah.
That's what I didn't understand. But when you kept playing it over and over, it did sound a little bit different than him. And I have found spirits can kind of manipulate themselves, especially elementals. There's a lot of Native Americans. I'm just saying that it's possible that but to me that definitely was an EVP. So we'll go with the nervous Belches. Okay, I'm not trying to write all this down, so I have bad handwriting. I can't read my own handwriting.
All right. That's I guess let's go to Corey. Corey, you want to make your decision?
I was sticking with number 1 with the haunted toy box, but the more I thought about it, and Katie really hit on it, was Jen had a real connection with the feeling in the room and the energy, and I think I'm going to go with the militia paranormal.
Yeah, the EVPs were really good with them.
Yeah.
It's really hard to choose between that. Yeah.
All right, Tabitha.
I'm gonna go with number 1. That Peter thing creeped me out, and I thought the voices were so much clearer in that one and sounded real to me.
And they were the same for the answer as well. Yeah.
All right, it's all on the haunted box now
boy.
to choose the winner.
All on Jim.
Sorry, Jim.
And I see we have a couple members of the Militia Paranormal group in the chat right now, so I do feel a little extra pressure.
Yeah.
I thought all 3 groups were great, but I got to go on my gut instinct, and the footage I would want to examine more, if I had the opportunity, would be from group number 3. So I'm going to cast my vote for the nervous Belches.
All right, the Belches are the winner.
Good job, everybody. They were all good. They were all good to watch. They were
Yeah,
all in the
perfect.
chat, but
Well,
they were all
I'm
all
watching
great.
for this Peter name again, and this
Yeah.
something wanting to come live here, be dead. I mean, whoever it is an a-hole for one. So, but I'm watching for the rest of this in these 13 videos. So let's roll it.
All right.
I'm ready.
So we got the next teams below. So this is the second half of the Friday night. So we have the Paranormal 4, Skeleton Paranormal, and Spirit Sisters. So I'll play all 3 of them in a row, and then we can have the discussion after. Sound good?
Sounds
Good.
great.
We mean no harm to you guys. We just want to see who's here.
the man in the hat around? Is he down here with us, following us room to room? Henry. 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 Henry, is that you? Are you the man in the hat? If you are, come light up my meter.
Are you following us? What are you trying to tell us?
Okay, you made this thing go off before. Make it go off again right now while we're here. So we know you're here.
We just went down a flight of stairs because we heard you. 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 Flight of stairs because we heard you.
We feel like ghost chasers because you're a ghost and you're making us chase you.
Does anyone want to speak in the dark? Anyone? Anyone, please? Hi. Music.
Crouch in the pit. Crouch in the pit. Crouch in the pit. Crouch in the pit. Crouch in the pit.
He said I want you to play. I want you to play. Is that what he said? Do you want me to play with you? Can I ask again? Do you want me to play with you? Music. Oh my goodness. This is insane.
Is there anyone in this room? Is there anyone in this room? Don't be scared. If there's anything in here, show yourself. It's okay to come out.
Completely steady, and I said, "Show yourself, it's okay." And then it literally spun, and then I felt something go by me.
Was it little?
I think so.
It looked little.
Do you have your thing?
It looked little.
Holy shit!
No, horrible.
Okay. So sorry, I got scared.
Oh man.
That seriously freaked me out.
I literally just said to Jackie, I'm like, I really want something to happen.
And then I could feel it. If I came down here alone, I knew something was gonna happen.
You want to do it again?
Maybe. Is anyone there?
So I wonder, would it be, because it looks almost like a jail cell dooring.
Yeah, the door's
Or maybe they. Okay, what do we got in here? Calder's hammer, last name.
Are you a boy? Or are you a girl? I'm gonna ask one more time. If you're still here, please answer.
Is there anything over here?
Do you want us to sit down with you?
I think it liked that when I said that.
Ooh! Oh, I just felt like I saw something in my corner, but I just didn't choke it out. Whew.
I think it liked that when I said that.
Ooh! Oh, I just felt like I saw something in my corner, but I just didn't choke it out.
Whew. I think it liked that when I said that.
Ooh!
I think it liked that when I said that.
Ooh!
I think it liked that when I said that.
Ooh!
I think it liked that when I said that.
Ooh!
I think it liked that when I said that.
Ooh! Oh, I just felt like I saw something in my corner, but I just didn't choke it out.
Whew. Like tall something.
Well, there's that mannequin, right?
Maybe that's what it is. Jesus.
Wow. Just wow.
I love the Canadian investigators apologizing to the ghost.
Yeah.
sorry. I didn't mean to get scared by your presence.
I apologize to ghosts. I'm like, I respect you, yada yada yada. But sometimes I get angry sometimes. But anyways,
that was the group that saw the same mist that Elliot and I did.
Yeah, the white mist.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question about that pivotal moment where the camera turns 180 degrees? Just to understand what's going on there, did it actually rotate on something solid, or do we think were they holding it on a tripod or something that moved?
It's on a camera Scorpion. It's like a U-shaped pivot for it, so it can swing. So if you were to put it upside down, then gravity would make it swing over, right?
Kind of like a gimbal. Is it like a gimbal?
Yeah, if she's holding it still,
Just
and she swears a force pushed it on the side. So if she has it level, then it shouldn't really, with any force, start swinging. But if she were angling it down, then yes, of course, gravity.
The battery in the back would make the weight turn the camera, but she had it pretty much level. Yeah.
Well, I would like to add something. I have used a gimbal millions of times, and I've had my gimbals act up and be crazy, but I have seen some evidence from almost all these teams, so I kind of know how their investigative techniques are, and how seasoned they are. And the Spirit Sisters, I've never seen any of them react like that. So that's what's throwing me off, is that she got like really scared by that, but normally like she was calm the rest of the time. But when she seen that the camera, the gimbal, or whatever she was using move, that was weird. I like they were using a Ouija board. That's cool. That I was going to rule out the whole camera thing turning, but just by them how long they've been researching and how much experience they have, I don't think they would get. I mean, she was very frightened. Like that was a scream, like somebody's coming, or she felt something. I don't know, or maybe she was just in the heat of the moment. Maybe.
So there's a lot to this video that we didn't show. So them talking about the experience after. So they all saw a big white mist brush by them and then head up the stairs. And that's why you hear them go, "Oh my God, I saw it," and start talking like that. So because we're trying to keep this really short, we can't show everything that happened, because we just need a few minutes per team. But for them, that was a very scary moment, and they spent an hour talking about it after the event.
I think I even came out. Came out of the DVR room, and I kind of had a conversation with them about it, because I was in the room right next to them when they did that. So I kind of came out to make sure they were doing all right.
Well, what was messed up was it was plain as that was a good EVP, drained blood. I was surprised they didn't hear that themselves. And then there was another EVP that they got. I heard it before you guys even put up their possible EVP was boy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
very distinct.
Yeah. And the light anomaly was very faint, but did she feel something? I was getting a little confused. Did she feel something or see something?
That one there, I think remember, because we had our balloon there, our foil balloon, and I think it turned at about the same time. So I think that was more of a reflection off the foil balloon than.
It was just a coincidence. I think it was just a coincidence. There's a little light anomaly there at the time that she got spooked.
And did she get spooked by the balloon because it's dark?
I think she saw the mannequin in the corner. If you listen to the conversation go, it was really tall. Well, there was a mannequin in the corner because it was part of the kitchen display, I believe it was.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Can we ask Tabitha a historical question, which may or may not be related?
Yeah.
Just going to skeleton paranormal for a moment. A quick comment is using the spirit box there. Really unusual to get a comment that long, that many syllables, obviously with the same voice, waiting for the peak, or I think that
watching the peak.
Yeah, watching the peak, or I think the young guy there thought it might be like want to play or something.
Yeah.
So I thought that was notable that it was such a long spirit box session. But this part about the fifth looking forward, Tabitha, when we're talking about the fifth, does that in any way relate to anything to do with the history of the tower or the area around there in Kingston, or is there any obvious connections? Because the fifth kind of sounds like official almost in some way.
Or like fifth regiment or something.
Yeah.
Well, did the word regiment happen in it? I didn't hear regiment.
No, it just said-
Okay,
just the
darn,
fifth.
'cause that would have
that's
really
right.
mattered because regiments lived there, right?
Right.
But in terms, I think Phantom of Yore pointed out that there is Fifth Company line is not that far from there, and it said forward towards Fifth. So I mean, it was Phantoms of Yore that thought of that. I didn't think of that on
Yeah,
my own.
because I worked on Fifth Company Lane, and it's
that's right.
literally two blocks
Queens,
from
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Well, what was interesting about that EVP was, after hearing it for like the third time, it kind of sounded like it echoed, like its energy was like vibrating out the wall. It sounded very odd to me after I listened to it, the first two times. And I was like, wait, it sounds like it reverberated from the stone walls, almost kind of like walls were speaking. I don't know. But with the response, Bad Kid, that was good from the radio response.
So he was the youngest investigator I think we've ever had. I think he was 7.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
going back to watch and peek, the box watch and peek, whatever that is, that to me sounded like a foreign language. To be honest with you, it didn't sound anything like what that EVP was. I thought it was a foreign language, like maybe Deutsch, I don't know, but it to me it sounded like a foreign language, and that might be why it sounded. No, you said the fifth looking forward was a long EVP, I think, but
watching the peak, I think is what Jim was
watching the
mentioning,
peak. Yeah, that was the one that sounded like a foreign language to me.
There was definitely an accent to it. I heard an accent.
Yeah, so that might be why it sounded so long, because immediately I was like, no, foreign language. But what did it say? I don't know.
I heard watching the peak. That's but then again, I don't know. It's you guys are each to judge for yourselves what you think you heard or what influenced you. I think the first team, Paranormal 4, there's a bit of a theme going there with go back there, don't go back. Good luck. They don't know.
Yeah, I liked about
freaked me out because they're talking about us. What don't we know? They don't. Good luck. They don't know.
There's a lot of mention about the back in these teams, like a lot of EVPs that have something to do with go back, look in the back. There's kind of a theme. So what do they mean?
Like I wish I could kind of were when they were saying that.
So they were.
What's the
they
bath?
were in when you go down the stairs, Tabitha. The room to the left with the bath in it, or the old.
They were in there.
I think they were in there. Yeah.
So when they said go back, they might have meant the staff room that no one's allowed in. It's a very old door.
Well, that's where Corey is.
That's where I was the whole
That's
night.
where you were. Yeah, there were four. There are 4 caponaires in the bottom. If people don't know what these are, there's 11 rifle ports in each one, and so the gunners would be putting their rifles through this.
But maybe they were saying to go in the back into the caponaire.
Yeah, so what's interesting about that is like because it's like 4 equal quadrants, like back is kind of subjective. You know what I mean? So, but I mean behind them, based on where you said where they're standing, I guess that could potentially be could be either of those 2 rooms. There's 2 rooms there.
Well, it did say it. They also got an EVP, my friend. That was pretty good.
He mentioned something about Henry, and then it said my friend right after that.
Right. That's right.
Paranormal 4 did so well because they were so quiet and they were able to get very clear EVPs because there was only 4 of them and they were so good at being silent after they asked questions that it just made it so easy to actually capture these EVPs.
Well, hang on a second. I'm going to have a rebuttal to that.
Dude.
So the last EVP that they got, good luck. They don't know that EVP. The cameraman, or not cameraman, camera woman, the camera human or a camera individual.
It was a man.
He was kind of breathing a little hard.
He was.
And I could kind of hear shoes walking on the floor a little bit on that. So that one, because I wasn't there and I wasn't able to watch the whole surrounding, that one to me was a little iffy, you know.
Kind of too good to be true. That one, it was just too clear.
Yeah. So, but that my friend at EVP, that my friend, and then Little Gun with the K2. I do believe spirits are, you know, concerned with some of the equipment we use. And also I believe that spirits, just like with a REM pod, I believe spirits don't like the color red. Every time I have something red, they don't like it. Most of them, depending on the location. That location, they might like red, considering it's talking about drained blood. That's freaky to me.
Their uniforms would have been red too, though, I think.
Okay.
I think their uniforms for this particular group would have been green, like hunter green.
would they?
Yeah.
Yeah, for this particular group that was there. Yeah.
Well, do you want to vote or?
Yeah, I think we should do the vote to get through the others. So I guess we'll start with Katie. Seems to be the order.
Well, boy, that bad kid was a really good response with skeleton, and then her getting that response with the first group with that K2, thinking, you know, it was a gun, thinking maybe she was an enemy of, I don't know, but I'm gonna have to go with the Spirit Sisters on this one, just because they got so many direct EVPs, and they pit they have a lot of emotion. Like they really wanted to dive in and try to really feel the vibration and all the energy, even like the residual energy that may be there. But all three teams captured some really good evidence. I mean, this is really hard to decide, but I'm going to go with Spirit Sisters. And plus they're a gangster using that Ouija board. That's cool, man. A lot of teams, we have not been invited back to places just because we have one in our possession.
Yeah.
And we don't even use it. It's just, it's not even in the box. It's just a box without the board in it. We've been thrown out.
The Ouija box, very dangerous.
Yeah. So we thought, well, maybe it'd be okay just to bring the box for display purposes. No, that's got to get pit up, you know. But that, you know, then all the techniques that they were using, I like that. That was very interesting to me.
All right, well, Corey, how do you know?
I have to agree. I really like the energy that they brought, and the EVP that nobody's really focusing on was the very first one that they had when they were using the
Not now.
The Ouija. Not now. I mean, that came out so clear, and there was no males in that group.
And that was a muffled old man. That to me sounded like it was an old spirit, and that spirit had been there for a long time. That's what it sounded like to me. That was a very old.
So they were sitting, Tabitha, for your reference, they were sitting in the room with all the cannonballs and stuff.
Oh yes. Okay. So the magazine.
Yeah. Well, no, the one beside the staff room.
That the voice. The voice from that EVP, I don't even think that was a human spirit, to be honest.
It was so dark, and it was just that one really just stood out for me, and that I kind of just that one right there. That
to me was not a human at one point. That right there is something different, because I've heard that tone, that sound is not. I don't know, but that, you know, and they had the Ouija board there. Yeah, that I'm glad you brought that up about the first EVP, because I have a whole bunch of notes here on that. So I would say there's that was not a human spirit, in my opinion. Anyways, okay, moving on. There we go.
On Tabitha now?
Sure. Before I vote, I'm going to say it's so interesting that so much of the activity is happening in the cap and airs. It's happening down in like the dungeon type part of it, right? So that's interesting. And there has been some activity we've seen in these videos on the barracks level, which is where the soldiers lived. But there's been very, very little I saw on the gun platform, right, which is up where the big giant cannon rotates around the top. And that's kind of in the first video, that's where we got "They Don't Know." I noticed it was at the top of the stairs in the gun platform. So that was really interesting because we hadn't really seen much activity. Because I'm recognizing where these things are, right, when I'm seeing it. And I'm like, yeah, there hasn't been any activity really here. But sorry, to vote now. I would say I originally was really drawn to the first group because of the "They Don't Know" actually personally creeped me out the way that Peter thing did.
Yeah.
But then the second group had such a sweet young lad in it. But I think I'm going to have to vote for the third group because that fear was so raw. And so I wish we could have bleeped it out, Elliot, unfortunately, but that was so raw that I think I'm going to have to vote for the third group just because she was so genuinely afraid.
All right, it's unanimous, Jim, but you can share your 2 cents.
I share the opinion of my esteemed colleagues and also believe Spirit Sisters are the winner of this round.
All right, that's it. Spirit Sisters. All right, so that's it for Friday. So now we're going to move on to the Saturdays. I don't think we'll be able to get through them all tonight, so I think we'll finish the first tier and then maybe come back maybe next Thursday or something and finish off the does that sound good, or are you guys good to stay up till 10:30?
Whatever. I'm game for whatever.
Either way is fine.
All right. All right, so let's move on then. We will change the banner to the next set. Here we go. Can-Am Paranormal, Team Ramrod, Team Rocket. Now, Can-Am Paranormal, it's Can-Am because there were Americans that crossed the border for this. So it was half Canadians, half American.
How did I get across the border with the COVIDs?
This was right before the pandemic.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah.
They're so lucky.
All right, so we'll start with Can-Am.
Someone here? Do you want to talk to us? Someone here? Do you want to talk to us? Someone here? Do you want to talk to us? Someone here? Do you want to talk to us? Someone here? Do you want to talk to us? Where did you go? Come back. Do you guys want to look in some of the rooms? Do you guys want to look in some of the rooms? Do you guys want to look in some of the rooms? Do you guys want to look in some of the rooms? Oh, there's not? Oh, this just, this main room? I saw a lady too. You did? Yeah. I took her picture too. Oh.
What's going on here? Why is there a door?
You can play with the toys if you like. Are you here? Play with the toys if you like. Are you here? Play with the toys if you like. Are you here? Play with the toys if you like. Are you here? Play with the toys if you like. Are you here?
That closes off that.
Is there a spirit in here with us? What did that just say?
I don't know.
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 I think it just said something fairly clearly, but my temperature reading is dropped.
Okay.
What year did you die?
Did that say?
It sounded something along those lines, so I'll have to review that then. How did you die? How did you die? How did you die? How did you die? How did you die?
Do you like the company?
Do you want to eat Justin's baby? 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 Do you want to eat Justin's baby?
making a blip or two on this recorder beside me. What, were you a child? Did they make you cook the meals because you weren't old enough? Did they make you cook the meals because you weren't old enough? Did they make you cook the meals because you weren't old enough? Did they make you cook the meals because you weren't old enough? Did they make you cook the meals because you weren't old enough?
Yeah. Did you slip down the stairs?
I think you were the janitor.
Does somebody want to tell us something about these stairs?
Wow. So the first group was Can-Am. So at the beginning, the EVP, it said, let him answer you. That was interesting. I mean, that was direct, and I could hear it. I mean, that was pretty. I mean, that's a long EVP, and it was clear.
The first thing that comes to mind is that could one of the investigators have said that, but then they're attributing a sex to the ghost, which they have no clue. So it's interesting that you did a let him answer you and not a let it answer you.
But with the history of the site, there's probably a little bit of information that it was, I assume, mostly men when it was used as a military operations at the time it was. So I mean, that could be an easy slip of the tongue. I think an investigator could make based upon
make an assumption.
Actually, it was families. There was children, women. Yeah, so it was like mixed. There were women and children in the tower for sure.
Yeah, but what I think Jim is saying is that maybe it was just natural. The the investigators would just naturally say him, the soldiers, right? They're associating. Yeah. So that's where, I think it was somebody in the room, but that's my opinion.
Because it happens from time to time when teams investigate that some people ask questions too fast and they want to tell each other, look, slow down, give them a chance to answer, right? Then throwing a question out every 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And so what was up with the EVP? Bethany, where did you go? And then it said, look inside the room, or she said, look inside. The investigator said, look inside the room. I can't remember if the EVP happened before that, or was that a different clip? Because there's EVP, Bethany, where did you go? And then the investigator said, look inside the room.
Oh, the Bethany was what came up on, I think, on the spirit box in the second team.
No, that can't.
Well, that would have been two different teams got Bethany.
Exactly, they did. They did. So something's going on with Bethany.
Any Bethany's jump out of the history?
Not that I know of. We'd have to look. We'd have to look amongst the names of people we know lived there.
It almost feels like at first I thought maybe there was it was a girlfriend, but. Or it was somebody that went missing and it was family looking for her. That's probably maybe what it is. I don't know what happened to her, but there's something up with a Bethany.
Or staff that worked at the museum for 96 years. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities. Visitors.
But hey, at least you have names and you can try to figure out maybe what has happened, and eventually it'll lead you to look in certain areas for historical information. So you have to look at
and to have it over two teams as well.
Right.
Yeah, that is really weird.
You have to narrow it down to some kind of time period. And my investigative techniques are very different from a lot of other people, but I always research I start from a time frame, and I don't want to know about the location. I want to know what was going on in the town. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I don't care about the location. I will figure that out later, but I want to know how to ask questions by knowing what was going on in town all these different years. So that's my question, with this Bethany coming across two teams at some point in time. Was she a worker there and she left, got another job somewhere, and the spirits enjoyed her? Maybe she knew they were there and left them gifts. Who knows, man? That's just,
it's interesting.
Now the thermal camera with Can-Am is, I would recommend. Now here's just my opinion. Okay, the thermal camera you should always have is set on your hot and cold temperature, so it's reading hot and cold at the same time on your screen. Because if you're showing me something thermal and it only has one temperature on it, I don't. I need to have. This is science will never agree with the paranormal, and I don't really care. I'm not here to prove anything, but just in the future, if you're using thermal, make sure you have the cold and the hot showing on your screen that you're recording, so we can know what's going on. So that way you can see over time if a cold spot hits. But anyway, I'll leave it there. But at the end, it said thank you. There was a direct response when she said, "You can play with the toys." It was a child's voice, and it said thank you. That was good. That was pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that thank you with the toy was super creepy. That moment definitely got me. That was the moment from number one, was the thank you. Want to play with the toy, thank you.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, it was I could hear thank you.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Just to pick up on Corey's point, seeing this across groups is extremely fascinating. And I can't recall, were these all spirit box recordings? Because if it's a spirit box, we'd be like, well, maybe there's a radio show on Bethany, but if they're not.
So the first group was an EVP, and the second group, it was on the spirit box.
So that's very interesting, I would think. And the other part that I really liked was because when you can get something on more than one device, or you have more than one piece of evidence at the same time, that's interesting. So we do have that light anomaly that the second group experienced, Ramrod, at that time. Tough to know with that. And we've talked a little bit about light anomalies and why they're so tricky. But that combined with her observation that I assume the ambient temperature in the room had dropped as well.
And that light anomaly kind of was pulsing.
Yeah.
Right. And what I thought interesting, I even wrote down here in my notes, because it said the ghost of 1860. Wait a minute.
That 1860s. I kept thinking about that because it really did sound like 1860s, and of course people were living there at that time.
I thought I heard 1850s, but
they were living there too. Yep.
But but it's here at I felt like the orb was getting, or anomaly was getting actually energy from the REM pod. And then she felt that the temperature dropped, and the ghost box did respond. Was you Bethany? The girl's dead. That's freaky, because in the first team they got an EVP with Bethany, and then the second group, like Jim said, it came through the spirit box, and it was pretty clear. I had a lot of notes on this. Eat Justin's baby. It said not really.
That was a weird one. I
like the humor. You have to have humor when you're investigating. I'm cool with that, even though that's kind of sick sound. It's not really. It's kind of. I'm not gonna say it's sick sounding, because you have to have spirits like laughter and humor.
Sure.
Sometimes it makes them upset because they're assholes. Excuse me. Oh, I'm so sorry. They're a-holes. Sorry, but bring in some laughter into these places, bring in some jokes into these places. I like that. I like how they used humor in their investigation, no matter how crazy it was. But there was two spirits communicating with the lady through the app that she was using for the spirit box. I noticed. She said, "How did you die?" Well, the first spirit, the second spirit was a female. It said, "Ed beat me." And then the first spirit was a male. It said, "Here at base." Did you guys notice that?
Yeah. It said at base.
There was two different spirits, to me, was communicating to her. And they had a connection with that investigator too, by the way, because it said, keep talking. So they had some kind of connection with her. They felt comfortable with it. She was calm and collective, and I think that they liked that energy that investigator had.
And Katie, that was an SB7 spirit box.
Oh, it was SB7. Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't an app or anything. And I was going to say, you can hear the channels sweeping in the background, but you're getting full sentences over, I don't know, probably 8-10 channels. There's no way that same voice should carry over that many channels. That's what I found, really.
It was a good session for sure.
That's true. Yeah. So that's all I have written down for Ramrod, but they did capture, I mean, just that team, the spirits to me seem like they really connected with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not to say that the spirits didn't connect with any of the other teams, but it was pretty. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I would like to see their full investigative video just for out of curiosity.
For Team Rocket, just to talk about them briefly, I thought they had one of the best captures that we've seen so far, which is the "Look at Me."
Yeah, the "Look at Me,"
which is so eerie and a little bit of a Captain Phillips reference. But that was so clear, and it seems like there's a pattern here. I'm not sure I can articulate it, but a lot of this stuff seems to be about like the bottom part of the tower.
Yeah,
it almost feels like we're traveling down.
Dude, I have that written right here. Yes,
there we go. It's like the bottom of the stairs is a key place. It feels like.
Does this happen in that same area? It's weird.
But I gotta say, most of the teams gravitated downstairs, and I think the reason being is that it's more closed in. The top two floors, as you know, Tabitha, are a lot more open.
That's right.
And I don't know if people kind of got the vibe, but they just everybody gravitated to downstairs. Mm-hmm. And the occasional group would go upstairs, and we got some great captures up there, but most people went down.
But Murney is so cool for the trickery, because remember, when you're alone in there and you're downstairs, you start hearing footsteps upstairs.
Yeah.
Then you go upstairs, and then you start hearing things downstairs, and then you go downstairs, and it's like leading you back and forth. And a lot of the teams reported this.
Every time we go up, every time we go upstairs, the REM pod would go off downstairs.
Yeah.
So we go back down.
They call you back down.
So they were getting responses through a radio, a spirit box down
inside
like
a tower.
Basement.
Like you can't get a radio. You can't get a radio station.
Yeah, there's like nothing down there. Yeah.
And they were getting these responses through those stone thick walls.
Yeah, what's the thickest wall there? 18 feet. 18 feet is the thickest wall there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, that's why I made the point that was an SB7. That was a radio suite.
Well, yeah, that's crazy. Now that's very interesting. And when at the beginning it said with Team Rocket, it said leave. The investigators were just sitting there. And they weren't doing, I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah.
Because there is that theory that spirits, can hear our thoughts or telepathy or whatever. That to me, I don't know why that's creepy to me, because they weren't doing anything. They were just sitting there.
It's actually their plan. They wanted to spend like a good 5 minutes in complete silence, and that leave came in right at the middle of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was pretty awesome.
And it seems like the top floor where the major cannon is, the common voices they're getting up there is leave or go. So whoever's up there doesn't seem to want people up there.
Now, is that possible because they would have been up there, on duty, watching, watching, so they don't want anybody in their way,
And that's why the bad kid came on up there, I think, because there's a kid up there and a kid shouldn't be up there.
Right.
So he said bad kid.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
What was up with the ticking sound? I kept hearing that ticking sound. Like, how those, it's I forget
metronome.
Metronome.
The metronome, yeah.
Where people tuned their instruments with the little thing.
Yeah, the metronome.
Yeah. So that team was using that for like a trigger object.
No. It could have been during the light anomaly. I'll just play some creepy music over it. That's probably what you were hearing.
So the ticking sound wasn't actually coming from anything that they were using.
No.
Okay.
If it was during the light anomaly, no.
Okay, because
outside of that, yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay, well, the reason why I'm saying something is because actually, in theory, and I've read this from stories from people back in mid 1800s, 1896 in particular, when they would tune their instruments, the ticking sound, anything that's intricate with like little, like even like a pocket watch or stuff like that, or the little needles, spirits find to be interested in stuff like that. That's why I was asking.
Now, would you say that that's the reason why the tri-field meter gets a lot of activity?
What was the tick? What's the device called
The
again? I'm sorry.
metronome.
Metronome. Okay, that doesn't emit off anything if you're using the antique one. So the tri-field meter, I trust the tri-field meter to an extent. Especially if you're down deep into a basement, depending on as long as there's not a lot of wiring and stuff like that. But you can use that as a tri-field type technique. I mean, it could change the sound of that ticking sound. I've had it happen before. I have one, and it's very old. But I don't want to get off topic. But I thought, because I bring a yard sale with me when I research, and that's what KD makes fun of me. A lot of people make fun of me. They're like, "Oh my God, are you selling things?" I'm like, "No, I'm not selling nothing. These are my trigger objects. I'll set up tea sets, all kinds of weird stuff, because because the town people, what they were doing different periods of time, okay, is very important to know, so you know what kind of trigger objects to bring to your investigation. Just saying.
Familiarity, right? Yeah.
Yes.
That's a great point. And the other, we talked a little bit about that for Team Rocket, as they were kind of sitting there and were told to leave right at the beginning. But I think in some ways that represents the most pure expression of paranormal investigation we've seen, which is the idea of quietly and introspectively sitting in the dark and asking hard questions of yourself and your environment. Yeah. So it was such a, and as a man and watching a man do it, there's almost a level of intimacy there that we don't often see, which I thought was really amazing. And part of paranormal investigation that may be hard to explain to other people who have never tried it, but there's an openness that is really profound, I think, and it was kind of shown in that moment. So I really appreciated I didn't appreciate the ghost telling them to leave if that's what was occurring, but I thought what they were doing was a kind of a great representation of the core of investigation.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that, because, they're sitting there, and I know when I sit there quietly, I'm just trying to feel the energy around me, and just, I could appreciate that as well. I mean, I'm glad you pointed that out.
Keep in mind that these almost every single one of these people have never done an investigation before.
Really?
So yeah, so that's what kind of brought a whole level of unpredictability to the entire event, because people don't know. They have half an hour with Elliot ahead of time, to go over the history. Here's what the equipment does. I'll be hanging around and saying, okay, well, why don't you try this? If they can't, if they seem to be stuck doing stuff, but it's interesting to see different people's perspective on an investigation. And a lot of times it's just, you just talk. But yeah, I agree that just sitting there sometime, I try to tell them, just one of you just go off into another room and just sit, go into another room. Don't get away from the group and go sit somewhere else and see what you see and feel how you feel. But yeah, most of them had never done it before, so just keep that in mind.
Such a great group. Such a great group of different groups. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
So voting time.
Good.
Well, what do the viewers think? I mean, it's a hard one for me here.
You just have to go with your gut. Which one stood out the most?
Ramrod.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If they would just, I don't think they were the ones using. Okay, yeah, Ramrod would be. Yeah, I would say Ramrod, just because I like how they conducted themselves. I felt like they had some kind of the spirits were connected somehow. Mm-hmm. I don't know. They felt comfortable with them, and they like with the orb and the REM pod and them saying the temperature drop. They were clearly stating things that they felt. And then things were occurring at the same time. That's always good to, put out there. But that Bethany, that's boggling me. So I'm going to go with Ramrod.
All right. Corey? So everybody, this is Corey's last vote. I'll be taking over after this. He's got to put his kids to bed.
So I got to agree. I was leaning towards Rocket, but the more I think about that spirit box session, the more, that I can't get over the fact that they were getting full, clear sentences of the same voice in a room with several foot thick stone walls. And I know that you can't get a radio station down there. Like, we tried it. There's no way you can get a radio station down there. So that's why I'm going to have to go with Team Ramrod.
That's 2 for Ramrod. Tabitha?
Group 2, which I guess is Ramrod. I thought that the sounds that were coming out of the machines were just so guttural, and they didn't sound human at all. Like, it sounded like it was just very choppy all over the place. And I'm pretty sure that was the one that said 1860s and said at the base. It said at the base because there's a big military base at Kingston. And so they're like asking about this base. And like, so I thought that maybe I would vote for number 2, Ramrod.
Once again, it's looks like it'll be unanimous. So Jim, you got anything to share?
The official. Come on. I completely agree. I think Ramrod is the winner, but we got to give a special out to Can-Am Paranormal, partly because we have Canadians and Americans in the room today.
Yes.
But also just because getting the same name from 2 different groups is incredible. So I'm voting for Team Ramrod, but I'm giving like an honorary mention to Can-Am Paranormal.
Yeah, I think we should. It's a team. I like today. We're Canadians and Americans.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. So now we just say goodbye to Corey, and we'll say hello to KD.
Good night, everyone.
Boom.
Welcome back. Have a good night, Corey. Corey, we're probably going to end up doing a
Bye, Corey.
It was nice to meet you.
Same here. Thank you.
Over virtual.
All right. So that's Team Ramrod. All right.
I was like, I think I came in at the wrong time.
There'd be like smoke, in your workshop there as you were working on an experiment.
No. It was just a little hour talk I had to do on another podcast. No experimenting. There's smoke from because I'm a chain smoker when I'm doing this type of thing, but
I'm guilty. I'm guilty for that too.
Yeah, I know.
And I drink a lot of coffee too. So
have to.
I could use the coffee now. All right, so let's just start. We'll do the 3 videos, and then this is the last group for the Saturday. We're starting with the sorcerers.
If you want to give us a sign or a knock or some kind of tap, just to let us know that you're here. We have devices. You can touch mine or talk to her through her headphones over there.
This is gonna sound weird. What if we establish a circle?
Did
It might
anyone,
work.
did anyone hear like a whoosh a couple seconds before?
Did you ever get a chance to ride horses? Go now. Okay, we'll be upstairs.
We missed them? Yeah, they were in the back room before we did the EVP. Yeah, they were in the back room before we did the EVP. Yeah, they were in the back room before we did the EVP. Yeah, they were in the back room before we did the EVP. Yeah, they were in the back room before we did the EVP.
So we do a seance and see if we can summon anything on the main floor. 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 Summon anything on the main floor.
I mean, if you want to picture over there of the cannon, and it zoomed in right in front of me right here, like there was a face it was trying to catch.
The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. 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 Now I have children of my own.
How did you die? How did you die? How did you die? How did you die?
Were you a soldier? Were you a soldier? Were you a soldier? Were you a soldier?
This is so weird. Oh Lord. Are there any children with you?
How many spirits are here? Can you please do something? Can you please do something? Can you please do something? Can you please do something to let us know that you're here with us? It answered, it said 8.
Would you like us to go downstairs again? Would you like us to go downstairs again? Would you like us to go downstairs again? Would you like us to go downstairs again?
Are you one of the children here?
I don't know. I don't speak French, but that last one sounded like something in French. Sounded like something to me.
You think?
Yeah, I
thought that's.
I heard a kid in there. You think?
No, yeah. Well, I heard like
heard-
La Blec or La Bec or something like that. I
That's
don't know.
funny because I thought I heard "Get Back." Are you talking about Team Unique?
Yeah,
That was the very last one.
Oh, no, wait.
Very
We still
last
have
one
one
just
more.
played.
Sorry, guys.
I was going to say, we missed
we still
Zoltan.
have one
We haven't
more.
done them.
Zoltan, like
We gotta do
Zoltan.
Zoltan.
Yeah, Zoltan.
Yeah, we gotta do Zoltan.
Is there anybody here that would like to make a noise? Knock on a wall? Tug on my shirt?
E. E. T. 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 G. F. G.
F G F G.
Are your initials F and G? Yes. Can you tell us which year you were born?
Did the light just?
Yeah. Light's going off.
Are you still with us?
I can't see.
Yeah, I can't. Okay, I guess.
Can you turn the light back on so we can see what you're saying?
It's like totally draining the battery.
I really did feel like this should only push on this chair. Okay, we're gonna say goodbye.
Goodbye. Okay.
I felt like something was on the shirt. Okay, that was.
All right.
So yeah, the light went off.
Yeah.
We have no lights.
Well, it's still kind of.
Oh, now it's fine.
It's fine.
That was creepy.
There's three people. There's an old man, there's a lady, and there's also a child. Any of you up here? Which one? Are you the child? Are you the older man? You gotta speak up, I can't hear you.
Wow.
Now we've
That's
done all three.
Yeah, Zoltan, that was pretty good right there.
I admire your bravery using a Ouija board. Because a lot of teams won't do that. No, I like that.
That stood out. The GF. I don't know if you heard the GF. very clearly.
Yes.
But then they went GF, and it kept going back and forth. And I've never seen that before. And all the reviewing I've done is seeing an EVP match up with what's happening on the Ouija.
Right, and you could kind of, to me,
yeah, that's what Katie was talking about earlier. Was is having multiple things, right, to validate, other things, right? So that goes back to that.
Well, and I could sense the women, their energy not being like sucked from them, but something was interfering with their so-called light or something, to me, to get those responses. Like something was coaching those responses. And I heard the GF before it even posted. I mean, I heard almost all those EVPs before you even put on there that there was a possible EVP.
So for some reason when you put videos on here, there's a delay, so you're hearing it a bit before it shows up. There's a bit of an audio delay with StreamYard, I guess. I don't know.
I think that all the EVPs were interesting. Just it was the only thing I questioned was what they were actually saying as to what they thought they would say. That's the only thing. There were a couple that I thought they sounded like something different. That's my opinion.
And then also we got another team got Look at Me. Well, that
I
team
was
got,
going to say that. That was the second Look at Me, and I think they were both Saturday.
In the basement, yeah.
Was okay. So
that was my next question. Was where was it the
Look
same
at Me?
area?
Same area, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it that I thought that?
It was Look at Me.
I did. Now when I heard that one, when they played that one, I heard "Come and Get Me" or "Come Get Me." That's what I was hearing. Come get me. I don't know. I wasn't looking at it, but I don't know. It's that's what I heard. Just of my own, whatever. That's I heard "Come Get Me," and like I say, it's subjective. It really just depends on how you perceive it. But
I think the best way to treat any EVP is to get a group of 50 people, give them that single audio, and just say, "What do you hear?" Write it down and see what the majority think they hear, and be like, okay, that's it.
That's like a jury. That's like trial by jury. We'll give it a trial by jury.
Yeah.
EVP trial by jury.
But there's definitely some creepy voices going on at Murney Tower.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Something that we can't really.
Well, yeah, the last one I thought I heard it say it was a gift, or it's a gift instead of we're together. It sounded to me like, but when it played fast, it sounded more like we're together real quick. But then when they slowed it down to me, it sounded like it's a gift. I don't know. That's
I heard it say we're together, and I thought that was awesome because that was
that's the
I wasn't
common
expecting.
thing.
I was not expecting that response.
I also have brain damage, so I'm going to throw that out there.
Oh, please. But yeah, the Ouija board and them getting that GF and you could just fit, like, once again, they really were in tune with their research and their investigative skills when they were using that throughout Zoltan, throughout their whole investigation. I like how people say, and also the other group, the sorcerers, I like when people say knock on the wall. I always say knock on the wall, shuffle your feet. I like when people do that because you're not, and also maybe have a simple piece of device to coincide with that. Nothing that makes noise though, but I like when people do that because when you hear a noise, man, I'd be like, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
So with the other, I mean, I had, what was that? Was that the team? Or when she said, "Can you knock on something or make a?" I forget what team that was.
I think it was the first thing Zoltan did. I think.
Yeah. Zoltan
Wasn't there a knock? Was that not highlighted?
With the source. Well,
it sounded to me like she asked for a no. Yeah, was it the sorcerer? I guess it was. Didn't she ask for a knock and there was like a slap or something in the room or something?
There was a tap.
Yeah, because but I don't think that was highlighted. I think it was more attention was paid to the EVP part. But I sounded like to me there was, I don't know, maybe they knew what it was and they just didn't think it was of importance. I don't know, but I thought I heard it.
I wrote it down.
I would have like replayed that like 15 times, man. Like, let's see that again. Instant replay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine the odds of the two investigators at the Ouija board hitting on that GNF pattern without being directly informed by it. And I have to imagine the odds of it matching what was so closely what the EVP sounds like are astronomical. So that only leaves us, I think, two choices. Is that they have subconsciously heard those initials either in that room, perhaps through a spirit, perhaps through a paranormal voice, or of course that somehow they are being controlled in their movements of the Ouija board.
Either way, it's paranormal.
It's
something we don't understand, regardless, right?
It was
whether
awesome.
or not,
Awesome.
whether or not the Ouija board actually is communication from the other side, or whether it's actually communication with our own subconscious, or whatever you want, whatever you think it might be, it's still paranormal. And I find that to be very interesting. And that's why I think
we have to find out what it is
under the right circumstances and control, and people who obviously, I don't know. I want to say know what they're doing, but
Jim, you done
the
opened
Ouija board. I think Ouija boards are great. Okay, I know a lot of people are.
We got to
hate
figure
me
this
or whatever.
out now, Jim. I'm
But
serious.
I think the Ouija board thing, right? If you're trying to get activity, man, and like you really want to get activity, sometimes okay, take those people that was late 1800s or whatever, right? When that place was occupied the most. Okay, what would they be more familiar with? Would they be more familiar with a digital recorder in your hand or a talking spirit board?
Yeah.
You tell me. I'll let y'all be the judge of that.
Yeah.
I think it would be. Sometimes I think it is important to use things that have some sort of visual or relevance to or relation. That something that whatever you're trying to talk to might be able to relate to, as opposed to something that they don't know what the hell that is. They're not gonna,
I think that's a really interesting point, and I think that ties back into the first group, sorcerers. Yeah. And the brilliant thing was the member of the team who started singing. I mean,
that was great. I heard mommy. That EVP. I heard mommy, man. That's me. I heard freaking mommy. I swear it sounded like a little girl saying mommy. I don't know. In my head, I imagined like a little girl saw that lady and said, "Wow, she looks like my mommy." It's like, "Mommy, is that you?" That's the scenario.
Yeah, it was very faint. It did take about the fourth time before I heard it, but it was there, and it definitely was a woman, or I don't know, but it was
now
there.
Was a woman what they say they thought it was saying, or was that what they thought it was making the noise?
We thought it said a woman.
Okay, because I thought I heard mommy, man.
That's what she was saying.
That would have been like a dead ringer for me.
Now, with the sorcerers, I like them. They use the questions: can you tap on the wall or throw something or whatnot? I love that technique. Also, it said follow me, but she heard something.
Yeah, she heard it. Yeah,
she heard something like a swirling type sound that could be maybe like a portal type activity. Now I'm starting to think there's some kind of portal stuff going on around there. Is there any water?
You got to go back to work.
Yeah.
Is there any water around there?
It's on the waterfront of Lake Ontario.
It's right there on Lake Ontario.
And there's a well, there's a reservoir below it as well.
Yeah, because there's
a cistern. There's a cistern in one of the rooms.
Well, there's something important with what that investigator heard when she said the swirling, and then she got that EVP. I feel as if there's something.
The cistern's underneath.
Yeah, the cistern. It says the water.
There's a window that you can look down into it.
Yeah.
Is it working and you can hear the water? Can you hear it?
No, it wouldn't.
I mean, working as in like we have a roof now. So how it worked was when the roof was off, the rain would fall and there were slits in the gun platform. The water would travel down through the building.
Oh, snap.
Column into the cistern. So as long as there's a roof on it, it's not really working. There's just a pool of water down there, but it's full of water still.
Yeah, there's water in there.
Okay, yeah, because Katie and I are working on some stuff that deals with water. But anyways, now another thing with real quickly with sorcerers, I want to get your guys' opinions and your viewers. You know how she said that she wanted to do a seance, and it kept saying, "I can kill you, leave me be," and it said "leave me be" more than once, and it started saying these things when she said was conduct a seance. Now, that is another theory that goes to a portal, because these spirits might know something that it could bring something through that can harm them. That might be why they were saying that. Now that's all theoretical. Okay. I'm just saying that's my opinion, but I'm just saying as soon as she says talking about doing a seance, that's when she started getting, I can kill you from that horse.
Well, maybe that's because she started saying things that whatever maybe was listening, but maybe those things But back in the day, if you were like a religious person or something, maybe a really religious person, you might have looked at any kind of anything outside of that as the devil, right? So anybody messing with Ouija boards or anything like that, or trying to talk to ghosts or whatever,
and
would
even
be
just
considered
with their
as evil,
name,
right? So I'm just saying.
sorcerers. Yeah, that's, you got a point.
That might
there.
have disgusted whoever it was or whatever it was, and they just were disgusted by it, and they said that, like, because I mean,
Yes.
they did kill people for thinking they were witches and stuff back in certain
I
times.
noticed Elaine Hill in the comments says today's electronics would probably scare them, and that's why I bring a yard sale with me.
I think the look of like I say, I think the aesthetic of a lot of today's electronics might scare them. That's why I think it's kind of I don't know. I've got like this style that I like to do, this like steampunky anyway. But I think that's really cool when you're talking, because most of the places we're investigating, the hauntings are generally believed to be from anywhere from 1700s up to the early or mid 19th or 1900s or 20th century or whatever. So that's kind of like the whole industrial era,
we've gotten things though in the 2000s. I mean,
that's not to say that there isn't new ghosts running around. I'm just saying it's like we do a lot of historic places where the bulk of the tragedies or whatever that have happened there, and the hauntings and the stories come from back in the day, and that's just generally what is assumed.
So what do you guys think about the unique paranormal?
I mean, it was very interesting when they asked the particular question of like how many spirits are here or how many ghosts are here, and to get 8 was a very clear response.
Yeah,
is a number, which is an appropriate response. So I don't know, that was interesting.
I think the most interesting part was he hit me, because remember the other team that got that Ed beat me.
Yes,
and this is for the same room.
Yes, I have that written down here too. So these teams are getting
similar answers,
and that now scientists say that it's not, things aren't consistent, but we're getting some consistent things here. Just putting that out there. And unique paranormal, they use dowsing rods, and I love dowsing rods, and
I think they're cool too.
And these are a copper rose, and I like mine made a certain way. I get mine made by somebody, but
mine have to be made in the fires of Mount Dune. That's my only requirement.
No. I like a prominent rod. Okay, one being a tiny bit. Okay, listen. Okay, so KD's gonna do a bloopers video of me. That's going to be perverted, because I'm like, touch my balls. Are you going to touch my balls?
Oh, God.
Feel my balls. And I'm like, hello. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I don't know what to call.
Hey, man, you're representing America right now, all right?
America.
You got to represent better.
How about we just jump to the vote, because we got to move on to the Sundays. So I think everybody's feeling Zoltan. I don't know if everybody's on that page for Zoltan.
Yeah. The together thing was creepy. Yeah, I'm voting for Zoltan.
All right, that's
Zoltan. Yeah, we're gonna do the symbol.
Hold on. I didn't say Zoltan.
Well, I say Zoltan.
No, I say Zoltan.
1.5 vote goes to Zoltan. How about that? We can do 0.5.
I really liked the energy that they had during that Ouija board session. That there,
that's what got me. I got a thing for Ouija boards, and hey, you had me at Ouija. Just saying.
I told them, we've been thrown out of places because of a Ouija board. So,
well, I've been asked to not come back.
Yeah, don't come back.
All right, so we're on to the Sundays now. So we got Altogether, Paranormal, and Ghostly Gal. So just 2. So it's trying to move a bit quicker now.
If there's anybody here with us, can you say your names? feeling.
Are you upset that we're here? How many of you are in here with us? What's your name? That's the floor under me.
Did your friend step on when you walk by? Did your friend step on when you walk by? Did your friend step on when you walk by? Did your friend step on when you walk by?
Did you step on it? No.
No, she was over there.
Something about crying? Something about crying? Something about crying? Something about crying? Something about crying?
Who's crying? Are you crying, Lily? Are you hurt?
Let me introduce myself first. My name's Kaylin. Can you say your name, please?
Lily.
Oh. Hi, Lily. How old are you? Okay, you set that off. You want to set off the REM pod thing? Can you please touch the REM pod, Lily? We're touch. We're touch. Touch the cat toy again. Turn that on.
I just seen an orb.
Oh, I feel cold.
There was an orb right in front of you. It went down towards you by that bench.
I'm getting a. Oh, that's from. Okay, I think that's just from where we were. Hi, Lily. Who are you standing next to right now, Evelyn? Who are you standing next to right now, Evelyn? Who are you standing next to right now, Evelyn? Who are you standing next to right now, Evelyn? Who are you standing next to right now, Evelyn? Did you leave the room? Do you not like it when we're in the room? Would you like us to leave? I need a yes or a no, or you're stuck with us.
Hiding from.
Who are you hiding from? Are you playing a game of hide and go seek?
Do you not want us to find you?
Are you playing hide and seek on us?
Did your dad wear a blue uniform? How do you feel? Is there anyone in this room with us? Did you ever wear the color blue? Did you ever wear the color blue?
Did you ever wear the color blue? Fine. What? Did it go off? Blue. Did you ever wear the color blue? The color blue. The color blue. The color blue. The color blue. Was your uniform blue? It went up. It did?
All right, the first half of Sunday.
You want to start with the first group?
Alter your other paranormal.
Sure.
Started
Yeah.
off with the
So
go home.
yeah, so the go home, they had that direct response. I know it said in the caption that it could be because there's already 15 groups that passed through there. And spirits tend to get bored with people, especially when they're asking the same questions.
Mm-hmm.
But they did end up getting some really good stuff, though, like that I'm hiding from death. Okay, I have experienced spirits on EVP through various equipment saying the same thing. And I hate to burst their bubbles because I hear it. I'm like, you ain't hiding from SHIT. Let me tell you something. And that more than likely, in my opinion, in theory, probably was a human spirit at one point. And he's just hiding, unless it's a Nephilim. But we don't want to get into that. But and then there was one. Are you upset that we're here? And chicken. It said chicken. Now,
I heard it pretty clear. Yeah.
Was that area used as a kitchen or a prep area? Was it used for like how they would pit fur in areas where things had to stay cool? Was that area used for that? Like, I don't know what.
Was it in the basement or was it on the barracks level?
No, it was in the basement, I believe.
Okay, if it was in the Caponiers, then no, nothing like that happened down there. The food was all prepared and the water that was pumped was all at the barracks level. There's actually a stove on the barracks level that we've seen in some of the shots.
So there wouldn't been like any kind of food preparation or anything in that area?
And I think if it's anything,
down
it
there,
probably
no.
has to do with them being scared, like you're a chicken.
Okay. Though that was going to be my next. I was going to lead to that next thing. I just wanted to clarify some things before I go and right. So, but that was pretty interesting.
Which group was it that was saying they were really, really hot? Because it looked like they were on the barracks level, and they're not there now, but there used to be wood stoves around to keep the barracks level warm.
It was Ghostly Gal.
Yeah, it
was the second group. Okay, sorry about that.
It was freezing. It was freezing that night. It was cold. This was October.
It was really cold, but they said they were hot.
It said, it's so, that got an EVP. It said, it's so hot.
Yeah, and there used to be so many stoves there, right? Multiple stoves in that area that they were in.
Okay.
And which group was it that said governor? Because I thought that was interesting.
Governor Adams.
Yeah.
Or Governor Simcoe, right?
No, it was. It said Governor Me, a girl, and then the Governor Adam and Ellie.
Ellie, yes. So I was trying to look up online this Governor Adam, but I didn't look up Canadian Governor Adam, which I will do later. But there was a Governor Adam. Did I write it down? I don't know if I did. There was a Governor Adam, and the year was 1887, and he was the 5th, 10th, and 14th governor. But 1887, the building wasn't
being used. Yeah,
right,
occupied.
And his name was Alva Adams.
Huh.
So
and this was Kingston?
No, it's not.
No.
It's not Kingston. No, I was thinking Governor Simcoe. But
so that I was just checking governors out, and that's what I found. And that I was just looking in that 1800s area, and that's what popped up. This guy was from Colorado. He was a lieutenant. But it didn't say what years he fought in.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm thinking he fought around like 1861, just because he died in like 1905, I think. I'm not quite sure. But I didn't have I couldn't look up a whole bunch of things. I was just trying to see, but I need to look Canadian wise maybe. But I don't know.
Governor Simcoe, Tabitha, what's the connection?
Well, that would be like 1790s, I believe. So the tower wouldn't have even been built yet, but I was just trying to think of governors that had a connection.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like Governor pause Adam, pause like me, pause.
Yeah, I thought they were separate words.
Trying to give names.
Like just listing some stuff.
Or they could have been discussing to elect somebody named Gov Adams, like, in town during that. It could be anything, really. But I find that's something worth looking up history wise to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think having governor twice is very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the one with the poor English or whatever, which sounded kind of like Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
What they want. Yeah.
What they want.
Oh my goodness.
But I did have a question, and I wasn't quite sure who was talking. So we get in the first clip there with All Together, we hear about the governor, Mark and Ellie. But then right at the beginning of Ghostly Gals, it sounds like someone says the name Lily.
Mm-hmm.
Was that one of the investigators saying that?
Yeah, so it's the spirit box with the headphones. So they're hearing it. I forget what they call it there, where you blindfold and you put on the headphones there. It's a certain method. Anyway, so there's someone listening. They can't hear the questions. And you just scream out whatever you're hearing, right?
Well, that's
so
very interesting.
So she screamed out Lily.
I see Ted Johnston in the comments thought the original thing was Governor Adam and Lily.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing the second group got exactly.
Oh, yes.
So that's really interesting.
That is. Now that's supernatural right there, bro.
Yeah.
That's
shout out to Ted for picking that up. But,
interesting.
That's a good catch, right? And so another thing with Ghost Girls, the anomaly, it was actually moving, kind of crawling down the wall. It looked like to me, like it didn't leave the wall. So I don't know if that was, I don't know how the room looks. If just by looking at that clip, somebody could have just took a flashlight. I don't think they did that. But what was also odd, though, was that there was another anomaly, and it was crawling straight down the wall, and she felt like it was cold or something like that.
And the K2 started flashing.
Yes.
Well, that's an important difference, too, because without that K2 part of it, I would say that was a moth. That looked to me like a flying insect. But when we see the combination with the K2 meter going off at the exact same moment, well, that opens up different possibilities. And I was trying to think about it. I mean, in some ways, even if it is a moth, that doesn't matter. The capture is still good. Getting that on camera still kind of qualifies as the challenge part of what we're doing here, because we don't know what it is here from our positions, obviously. So even if the light anomalies, and for all the groups this is fair to, even the light anomaly was something very natural, good job on them for catching those things and making those comments to each other. Did you see your K2 meter just went off? I think that increased the evidence for me quite a bit.
And then on top of her feeling cold, so that's why it's good to have another piece of equipment with you, because this stuff's already hard, like you said, challenging. And so I totally agree with you on that. But what got me was when she was talking about Lily's dog, right? It said, the EVP said he got fright, but I thought I heard he got fight, like he got into a fight dogfight, baby. But the voice of that EVP sounded like that same voice that was back here in one of the other teams that was, I want to say that in the second session, like the second three, I have to go back and look.
It's the boy's voice.
It doesn't sound like it's one of those things. It just an elemental, like it wasn't human before. I don't know, but that, like I said though, about the fourth time hearing it, that sound, I can't get it out of my head. It's giving me turkey bumps.
Should we go ahead and vote, or are we close?
Yeah.
We only got 2 here.
Well, I want to see what your viewers are saying here. What
we might need some help from the audience.
Yeah. Kind of not sure about this one.
Well, Ted Johnson said, I love how strong Lily is. Her energy is so very consistent. And that team who had gotten that was Ghost Girls, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd have to put it for all together paranormal, just because of the intelligence, like the governor stuff. I'm hiding from death.
I think I'm leaning that way with the first group as well. I think, like, because is that the group that said they were really hot on the barracks level? Like the ghost was hot?
No, that was Ghostly Gals.
Oh, no, it must have gone. Okay, maybe I'm leaning to them.
But I
don't know.
I agree with all together just because they got governor twice. They got several names, and they were getting direct responses back to their questions.
And some pretty good EVPs too, like the follow me upstairs. I don't know if you noticed, but it's the same voice as some of the other teams got up on the top floor too.
Yeah.
It's very weird, almost like interdimensional type voice EVP, and very similar to some of the other teams that
I wrote that down too. I said, "What's up with follow me? What's up with follow me?" I'm like, "What in the heck's going on here?" A lot of teams got that. What's up with that?
It seems like there's a guard up there, and they don't want people up there, and it's like, "Follow me, come back downstairs." So they're trying to lead them out, get out, go. You know, I think there's somebody working up there. That's been the vibe up there.
I don't know if residual energy can act that way. I don't.
If it is residual, maybe somebody's still protecting the fort and looking out over Lake Ontario.
Yeah, it's pretty intelligent residual energy then, but I don't know. It's weird. It's definitely something to look into. So there were a lot of things that were lining up with how many groups? 15? 15 groups?
16.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, and they most of them, if not all of them, had things that were coincided together, which is definitely, I would definitely say that your museum definitely is haunted for sure.
Oh my. Thank you for
just
that.
saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. And I want to come stay there and stay and I'll sleep in the basement. I'm serious. I'll be like Christina Weedman, zip myself up in a sleeping bag. I'm gonna hang me a lantern though in mine. See, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I think I would vote for all together as well. I think it's very close between these two. It feels like either
hard
one
to pick.
but alphabetically, I'll go with all together as my
all together.
I second.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Unanimous all together.
Yeah.
All right, all together paranormal is it. So we got one more group to do tonight, and then we're done. But we're going to do a part 2 next week because after this we got to go back and then each subgroup and so on and so forth. So we'll finish this next week. Katie, I don't know if Thursday works for you and Katie, or just you. Either way.
Let's see.
I'm pretty open during the week. With the lockdown and everything, nothing really going on in Ontario.
You guys are still on lockdown there?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
We're not even wearing masks in places anymore here because we've been vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
We've been vaccinated. Well, I've been vaccinated. Okay, so this coming Thursday, next Thursday, June 3rd. Actually, I'm good on that. I don't have anything on that day.
And Tabitha, Jim, you guys are good with Thursday?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do the last group, and then that's the first tier, and then we'll do the second tier and announce the winners next Thursday.
So it's going to get harder.
Who knows? I might be able to compile a little video with all of the first tier winners. They're the best singles to post or something.
That would help.
And what time? At the same time?
Yeah, same time, 7:00. That's good for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so it'd be 5:30. Well, I just put 5:30 my time here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. All right. By the way, your calendar is awesome. Did you know I post like each month on our story when so every time in June I'm going to post the June section in our story. I don't know if you've noticed that or not.
No, I haven't even seen it. Cool. No,
yeah, so I post. Yeah, I'll take a picture and I post it in Supernatural Inc.'s story. Because get some really good pictures there in that calendar. Good job. I've been wanting to do a calendar, and people, because I own a printing and design business. That's what I do, and I could totally just do it myself. And everybody's like, I went and buy a calendar. We all use digital stuff, blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm freaking old timey because I carry around an organizer with me, and I use my phone, so I have 2 backups. But anyways. I thank you for inviting me on the show to view these videos. They're fascinating.
Thanks
Very
for coming on.
Thanks, Elliot. This has been fun.
It's great to have outside perspectives on all this.
And all the work that all of you have put into this. I mean, it's great. I mean, I bow to you because that's a lot of work.
It's for the people.
Had fun at the tower. That's good that people had fun at the tower. That's good.
And and to all the teams too, to go in, and it drains you. I hope you give them a bowl of M&Ms with peanuts in it, like peanut M&Ms.
They all get treat bags on their way home.
Because I tell you what, I get hungry, man. I'm like, man, I gotta have me some peanut almond M&Ms. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
No, Eric always made sure there's lots of candy for people.
Yeah.
Lots of sugar because after this you do get really tired.
Especially in this location that possibly could have a portal going on here.
Yeah, well, hopefully all goes well and we can do a virtual for the tower, I guess, at the end of June or maybe early July or something. If all goes well, we can do a virtual investigation online.
Nice.
That's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Well, it's all we can do right now. I mean, until things open up.
So how much longer for you guys? Does anybody know? I mean,
August, I think, is when we can do events again. Maybe somewhere in August, mid-August.
Sounds like the earliest would be July 25th. Maybe it's connected here, Katie, to the percentage of people vaccinated. So we're just working on getting everybody vaccinated.
Yeah, they're doing some weird things here in America to get people vaccinated, like giving people money, giving people free baseball tickets, whatnot, some crazy stuff.
And they've been talking about it here too. I heard on the radio today that they were talking about looking at incentives.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing in here, is doing incentives. So, but I got vaccinated because my mother's dying of breast cancer. So I want to be able to see her, even though she's been vaccinated. But, I'm going to go visit her in South Carolina in July. So, or otherwise I wouldn't have gotten vaccinated. I ain't getting vaccinated. Forget y'all. But to see my mother, but anyways, because I want to come to Canada. I've been in Niagara Falls. It's as far as I've went. I crossed over, stood there. Hey, been in Canada. Get a picture of me. And that's as far as I went.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good spot to go.
More to see.
Yeah.
Hopefully the borders open up in the fall or something like that.
Yeah, no, you'll have to come to the tower, Katie. You'll have to come to Murney Tower.
I would love to.
Mm-hmm.
I would absolutely love to.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Elliot. Yeah, thanks, Jim. Thanks, Katie. It's been fun.
Well,
never done anything like this before. So
we still got one group left.
We're doing
we have the last group. We got the last group.
Oh, well,
good night, everyone. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Right, one more group.
Roll the footage.
All
Let me
right.
get my pen.
All right, let's do it.
Huh? I first gotta know where I'm going. 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 I first gotta know where I'm going.
Hello? 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 Anybody here? Anybody here with us? Anybody here with us? Anybody here with us? Anybody here with us? Picking up on somebody.
Upstairs.
Upstairs. Okay. It's a different room.
And speak to them. Is that ball of light walking towards Jen you? And speak to them. Is that ball of light walking towards Jen you? And speak to them. Is that ball of light walking towards Jen you? And speak to them. Is that ball of light walking towards Jen you? Well, you just left, so I don't know what else to ask. Can you tell us your name?
It keeps saying, hey, hold it.
Hey, hold it.
Hey, hold it. Hey, hold it. Hey, hold it.
Are you mocking us?
It said sure.
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 Are you mocking us?
It said sure. Whatever the question was, it just said sure to you.
All right. Okay. Fine then, that's not very nice.
Well, he's got a sense of humor.
Can you move one of the cannonballs? Please? 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 Please?
If you're here, let us know somehow that you're here. Anything. A bang.
Swaying of the flag, anything.
Are you tired from all the people here today? Yes? Are you tired from all the people here today? Yes? Are you tired from all the people here today? Yes? Are you tired from all the people here today? Yes? Are you tired from all the people here today? Yes? Is that what it said?
It's a tap. It's a tap.
I'm Andy.
Spirit, are you here with us?
Earlier, I felt cold on my back. Was this you? Is there something behind me?
Ask me.
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 Is there something behind me?
Ask me. Ask me questions.
What would you like me to ask you?
Oh no, said that's me. That's me. Are you, is this Lily? Did you touch me just now?
Amazing.
Did you touch me just now?
Amazing.
Did you touch me just now? Did you touch me just now?
Amazing.
Did you touch me just now?
Amazing.
It is amazing.
I just saw something fly through the lens. Was that you? I just saw something fly through the lens. Was that you? I just saw something fly through the lens. Was that you? I just saw something fly through the lens. Was that you? I just saw something fly through the lens. Was that you? Were you just in this room with us? We're gonna go back close to the cistern. I'd like to thank you for communicating. Whistle like me. Whistle like.
That's it. All 16. We did it.
Wow, that's awesome. So I guess ladies of the night. Hold on a second. Yeah, ladies of the night. That was the first clip you showed, correct? Okay. I thought it was funny when she said she couldn't see or whatever. It said you're blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. I like that.
It's pretty clear, yeah.
Yeah. Who's Brandon? Because it said, "Hey, Brandon."
Yeah. Ladies, they were all girls, and none of them were Brandon, so I don't know where Brandon came from.
Yeah, because the investigator said hello, and it said, "Hey, Brandon."
Yeah, it was an all-female team. As far as I'm concerned, none of them were called Brandon. I mean,
yeah, and there was a couple things like McWin. I heard that. I don't even know what that is.
McWin. It's a Scottish name, but I mean, not a very common one.
And then don't chat. That's enough.
It's pretty interesting when you get spirit box responses like that, when you have like a theme going across, multiple frequencies like that. Don't chat. That's enough. A name. Don't chat. That's enough.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely. I always think of like a parent or something telling like a kid, don't talk to strangers type thing. I don't know if that's what's occurring, but that's just what I think of. And that light anomaly that floats out towards the investigator, if you notice, that was the only little light anomaly. There was no other dust or anything else around her. It just came, so if it was a door opening or some kind of air coming from somewhere, wouldn't there be more than one? So that,
that's why I say we always use HD cameras, and you don't pick up dust. Like if you have a DVR system, you're gonna pick up dust nonstop because it's lower quality. But high quality, you don't HD. You don't pick up on all that random dust that goes through there. So we'll have teams go in where they do the whole investigation without picking up any light anomalies, and then all of a sudden, one team gets like 6 to 7 of them.
Mm-hmm. And then I did hear. So what was the bang when the investigator asked, "Can you make a bang sound or make a noise?" What was that bang sound? Was that just because nobody said anything about that bang sound?
So it's probably one of them.
Okay, all right. I typically say, "Oh, that's me," but okay, but nobody said anything, so I was assuming that it was probably one of them.
The cat, I think, is the most interesting that comes across here.
Yes.
Like the whole weekend, everybody was talking about hearing a meow or a cat. But I find it interesting that the child's voice jumps through, says cat in here, And previously in the footage, which I didn't show in this clip, that they mentioned a cat. And then the next team, you have the child in the basement saying, "Come here, boy."
I know. I heard the here boy.
The same child voice.
Yeah, the
So it's like
Sunday. Shadow seekers. They said here boy, and maybe they're calling for the cat or the dog that was from the other team. Not this session, but the prior session, because it something about the dog got fright or whatever.
I don't remember reading anything about pets at the tower. I mean, I'm not excluding it. I'm not excluding it, but I'm saying I've never read anything about any of the children having pets.
Not pets, but forts and towers would have had cats for the mice.
Yeah.
Yes, and snakes or whatever. Now, another thing that I find very interesting, the staircases in this place. Okay, now staircases, are places where people sometimes want to go to talk to people in private, because people do it to this day, but seems like a lot going on in those staircases, because there was like one of the teams, he was going down the stairs. It says, "I am dead." Then it said, "Farewell." That's a lot of people don't realize a lot of activity happens in staircases and stairwells and areas like that. So I thought that was interesting. Because earlier there was an entity that said, "I'm hiding from death."
Yeah.
In the stairwell. And then this one said, I'm dead. Is it the same entity? But I don't like hearing help me. Help me. That we had gotten help me from, let's see, what team said that, where they got that through like a box, or was it an EVP? Let's see. I can't remember. It said help me. But anyways, when the spirit box, the ladies, there was another team, I think it was a sorcerer's team, said that something had pulled on their back and it was a boy. Same thing happened with shadow seekers.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Was the "it's me" afterwards. She got touched, and then the "it's me," and then and then no, who's behind me? It's me, and then she got touched, and then you got the amazing.
The amazing, because spirits learn how to use this equipment. They learn how to manipulate the physical world in theory. And for it to say amazing, that just adds to that theory. For sure, that this individual that is in the present time felt it, something that we can't physically see, pull or touch her, and she said, "Did you touch me?" And it was like amazing, directly through the box. So these entities and whatever is going on at this location, they're learning how to manipulate the present time in whatever realm they're in. Call me crazy, but these are just theories, and we're talking paranormal here. So those are theories. But
sorry. Yeah, I was going to take it back to the pet thing, because I got thinking about it, and I didn't set up the context for the viewers of the tower. There's a 20-foot ditch around this tower. There's no way you're getting in and out of this tower, which means an animal couldn't go to the bathroom. The people had enough problems with that, because they would have put a ladder, like a rope ladder, down, and then later a drawbridge was installed. But essentially, like, how would mice even be in there? You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to say anything against it. I'm saying that maybe if a kid brought a cat in there, it would have been a problem, and it would have been a very memorable event, right? If somebody had brought a cat in, it's just a thought. It's just, I'm open-minded about these things. Who knows?
Maybe it was a toy cat or something. I don't know.
Cats are extremely agile. Like, they can.
Yeah.
If there's a cat down at the bottom of the ditch at Murney Tower could easily just climb up that.
What about
without any issues?
It was the way the childlike voice said it too. Like it sounded like a toddler, where they were like proud they knew something almost that we didn't, and were also amused. Like excited.
Yeah.
There's an animal nearby.
Yeah, there's a
So
cat
there was
in here.
something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's very interesting.
Yeah. What about some horses?
There would have been some out in the area. There must have been stables nearby. If there were soldiers stationed there must have been an outbuilding somewhere.
They're kind of walking distance from so much right there. You know what I mean? Like, so I had never once thought of horses being part of it. You know what I mean? Because they're walking distance from so much stuff right there.
A question I had, Elliot, for you maybe is this group, the last group, Shadow Seekers, also used the name Lily. So
yeah.
Did we tell them ahead of time about? Does this link to something we have told them, or is this all just kind of spontaneously created on their own?
Yeah, I wonder if the groups talk. Did the groups talk when one group went out? Did another group go in?
That's a good
talk?
question, Jim.
Yeah. So if one group came in, one group came out. They would cross each other and they would kind of mess with each other. Like, oh my God, like you're gonna regret going in there. Like just kind of playing jokes. And they would have little small talk. But I think Lily probably came from the live feeds. Just we always set up a live feed.
Oh, right. So they could see.
And then people coming Sunday would watch the live feeds, excited to go and do it on the Friday and the Saturday.
Right.
So that's probably where the names popped in.
Right. But they didn't get any Lily through any of their radios or anything like that. But
no. Well,
Bethany, but the name Bethany did from one of those other groups, and the governor and Adam and all that.
Yeah.
And Lily did come through for one of those other teams.
One of the
box. Yes.
Yeah. So, the live feed, as I recall that weekend, was only focused on the main area. And really, nobody spent much time in the main area. So they wouldn't really have captured too much from there. And there's also talk of, and this was being passed around also, was a tall man being at the bottom of the stairs with a tall hat.
Creepy.
Yeah. Who stood there. But to cast the votes, I'm going to have to go myself with Ladies of the Night, simply because of that long ITC session there where you kind of had that intelligent, don't chat, that's enough. And you get a name that's just very interesting to me. And also, the cat in here, and that was an EVP. That wasn't even ITC. That was just an EVP. So that child voice came out of nowhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the let me know your doubt, which is such an interesting way of putting it. Because, show me that you're really here. I really want to know you're here. Make a noise, tap on something, and then you get this female voice come through saying, let me know your doubt.
Right.
Which kind of pieces in with what's going on in the moment. So it's very interesting. And that's something I don't think a modern person would say it that way. I don't think a person today would say it that way. No. So it's interesting.
There was another.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Ladies of the Night.
Well, there was a name Tristan that came through. I don't know if that was. That was through Ladies of the Night.
And that was the whispery chicken voice. That Tristan EVP was just like the chicken and many others. There's almost like characters developing here, like certain voices that are coming through for all the different teams. And it'd be interesting to go back after all this and we announce the winner and kind of isolate those similar voices and kind of play them together and just see okay, over the whole weekend, this voice came through every day.
Right.
It's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I think I would join you in voting for Ladies of the Night. I appreciate their ironic name. Also, big cat fans in this house. So anyone who has a cat involved is going to get something from me. But I think you're right. It's that don't chat, that's enough sequence that's a real showstopper. And I did have a little trouble hearing Shadow Seeker's first couple EVPs. The quiet, I'm going back. There was a lot of movement and things going on during that time.
I thought that was the wind when I heard quiet.
Yeah. So for that reason, I'm with you, Ladies of the Night. Get it sounds terrible to say, but get my vote as well.
Well, I'm going to vote for Shadow Seekers because I don't care about the quiet thing, the EVP thing, I thought it was awesome how the spirit responded amazing when the woman was like, did you touch me? And it's a boy. And I don't like it when there's children's spirits, that it bothers me. I'm not going to go into detail why. It just, this children in general, you know, being around, and I sometimes think that they're not really children, that they're people, the spirits in theory can go be whatever age and, you know, whatever their happiest times were. I don't know, but children's spirits bother me when they come across. And I like to leave things, always leave gifts behind at every location out of respect. But you have to be real careful when it's like children's spirits from my experience and in my opinion. But anyways, yeah, my vote is for Shadow Seekers.
So Tabitha, it's a split decision for you, or you can hold a split decision. Now, I just want to bring something up interesting about the tower and children is that there's a hole in the cannon room that has toys in it that goes into the wall.
Are you talking about the geocache or?
There's a hole. Yeah, there's a hole.
You guys
Yeah,
know that.
there's a small little container inside a hole.
That's a
inside of the
geocache.
wall.
Yes.
So there's toys in it. There's like little toys.
It's a geocache because
okay.
people that are interested in that, we're one of the sites in Kingston. If you're a geocache person,
yeah, we have a geocache at my museum that I run as well. People, they don't do it as much as they used to, but yeah, we have a geocache. I think it's cool, but anyways.
Yeah, it was put there by a former director, if you remember. Shout out to Graham Watson, but yeah, Graham Watson is a geocacher and he put it there. But sorry, the cat thing. I mean, and I do want to stress, because I saw in the chat about the mouse thing. I mean, we're talking about like so thick of limestone. There's no wood involved here. So sure, like a mouse could be brought in with the supplies, but it's going to die. How's it going to drink? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
you'd be surprised.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Mice are survivors. But I think I'm going to vote for that first group, even after what you said about children, just because of the very young child saying there's a cat in here. There was just something about that. I'm going to vote for that group because of that.
So she's voting for Ladies of the Night.
Yeah. Ladies of the Night.
All right.
We have Shadow Seekers. You have my vote.
And I'm sure they're watching.
Although Ladies of the Night, I mean, you guys got some really good investigative techniques, and you guys did get some really good evidence. And most definitely, you guys did a great job, capturing this evidence, because they captured an animal cat presence, and the other team from another segment or whatever caught a dog. I mean, something's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Dogs have fallen in the ditch. Like, it's a 20-foot ditch. So there's only one door. There's only one way into this place. And it's literally, you can't, because there's a huge trench. It's like, people always think it's a moat, but it's actually a dry ditch. It was always dry, no water in there.
Well, you got to think about the toys that they had back then, because they did have the little wooden toys that you could drag along with the string.
That's right.
I mean, so it could be something like that if you're, very, on that subject, that there's no way a cat could get in. So I could totally, I have a 7-year-old son, and boy, is he imaginative, let me tell you. And,
I mean, they fall in the ditch though, right? That's what I was saying, is that we, like, every year somebody's dog jumps in the ditch and has to be rescued. So it would have been much harder for them to rescue them, back in the Victorian period, like to rescue the dogs that ended up down 20 feet. And
or the boy could have been calling for the animal to get out of the ditch.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, it's possible. There's a cat in here. Like, there's a cat, like if he's looking through the rifle hole and he sees there's a cat in the ditch. It's just a possibility. There's a lot of possibilities. Somebody could have carried the cat in, but then it's tough to have it go to the bathroom, right? I don't know.
It could have been a pet.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, could have been a lot of things.
Put down some hay. Be like, here, teach you to eat some hay. True. That's right.
The military was concerned about the hygiene, though. Yeah, so I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah, very, very.
So next Thursday, we're going to have the top Fridays, Nervous Belches versus the Spirit Sisters. Then the top for the Saturday, which is Team Ramrod against Sultan Paranormal.
Okay.
And then we're going to have Altogether Paranormal versus Ladies of the Night.
Awesome.
And then after that, the top three, one of each night competes, and then we'll have our champs for this year's challenge, and they'll take on everybody else.
Awesome.
And
It's a bracket tournament.
What do they win?
They get to return to take on the teams of this year.
Sweet.
So rather than paying, they just come for free as the champs, and they take on all the other teams and see if they can be two champs twice in a row.
So can you ask them to do Mrs. Katie a favor when these teams leave there, if they can just leave a little gift behind? It doesn't have to be anything major because we don't want to clutter up the place, but maybe leave like a seashell or not. I wouldn't say, candy because it could cause bugs, but maybe a penny, but it has to have your energy on it. Just leave it out of respect. I have a I was mentored by an old Turkish lady, and it's very important to respect these things, and you definitely don't want things following you home. So that just as a safety precaution, always leave a gift behind, put it in a wall up somewhere where, it's not going to be in the way of, the museum. Cause I'm particular with my museum. I don't want, I always leave a feather with the Native American stuff. And, you don't have to tell people that, but I would appreciate it if you would.
No, we'll definitely throw it out there in the event description, to bring a token. And Tabitha will have to find a place to put it, maybe a little bowl or something.
Maybe in the geocache. I don't know.
Yeah, they put it in the hole.
Oh, in the hole. In the hole.
Put it in the hole.
That's a good idea. And they could just leave it. I'm going to leave you a gift out of respect. I respect you. And, I'm going to leave you a gift. I leave you here. I leave you here where I found you. And I care for your soul and your spirit. Goodbye.
Cool.
Sorry, I'm not getting religious. I just had that out there.
All right.
It's a living's duty.
Mm-hmm.
So we will adjourn. It was definitely fun, and it was a half day's work. We're going on 3.5 hours now just to get through 16 teams.
Okay, so you can write that check out to Catherine Lane Stafford, and that's Catherine with a K. I'm kidding. I love this. I am very humbled that you had Supernatural Ink on here. I really appreciate it.
No, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and thanks for coming to the tower again, Elliot. No, it was great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and hopefully things get rolling this summer, and people can experience this site and many of the others that we have down in the books, just waiting for those provincial orders to lift.
And maybe you guys can come to somewhere in the States, like Virginia City.
We haven't been down that way yet.
Yeah, Virginia City is very interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely. Now, is that considered the Midwest? No, that's Central.
It's in Nevada. And it is a tourist hotspot. We're actually going to be doing an event there with the Haunted Hostess the second weekend in October. She has worked her butt off because she volunteers help keep up conservation. I'm a conservationist, for these historic sites, and she helps procure these locations and keep them clean. Writes down things that have to be fixed, get fire marshal in there, get things legal, yada, yada, yada. So I've been there before, and, I'm very familiar with the police department and the mayor and the Mackey Mansion, amazing. The Washoe Club, amazing. The whole town is freaking weird. Mm-hmm. So
sounds like fun.
but I want to come to Canada though first, for sure. Because there's a lot of Native American history there, and that's my primary study is Indian history. Is Indian history, and there's a lot there. So, and then the Knights of the Golden Circle. That's right. And then and the Knights of the Pentacles. What's up with that?
A lot of knights.
Yeah. Oh, right. Well, thank you.
Next weekend, I'm going to Knights of the Pythian. So there you go.
Awesome.
All right. Awesome.
All right.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah, we'll see everybody on Thursday.
Thanks so much, Elliot, and everybody.
Yeah, thanks everybody for watching and hanging in there. We got 10 people left.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you, Tabitha. Nice to meet you. Bye, Jim.
Nice to meet you guys. Nice to meet you, Tim, and everybody. Thanks. And bye-bye.
And Elliot, thank you as always. You're awesome. Keep doing what you're doing.
All right. Thanks, Katie. Thanks for joining. I'll see you guys. Have a good night.
We'll see you on Thursday. Bye.